Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925, but we are still married to the games. Episode 242. That's right. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Hackin Placencia, Chris McCracken.
You're welcome.
Of course, and as always, we're talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. Ed, do you want to just get your week over with, man?
Yeah, I know. So you can sit in silence for a while.
So you
can not talk for the rest of the episode.
Exactly. I'll just talk for a bit, mute my mic, and hack everything up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What is going on with you, man?
Jeez,
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a rerun of what I had a few months ago or what it was. Usually like twice a year, I get my butt kicked by something, and I guess my number's up. So it's time for a butt kicking.
Is it allergies or is it like you're sick?
I don't know. I never had allergies growing up, and when I moved to Pennsylvania, I think I got them.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
But that happens to people in Nashville, too, yeah.
Yeah, and so now that I'm back in Indiana, where I grew up, I don't know if I do have allergies or if I genuinely am sick. I don't know what it is. So,
man,
just kind of...
You don't have a fever or anything, do you?
No fever. Just a lot of phlegm.
Isn't it crazy that it's never
That's
ending?
lovely.
I know, it's weird.
You're like, where does all this stuff come from?
Exactly. And I don't know. Maybe I'm developing into a superhero of some sort. I don't know.
That would be cool.
Oh, you got bit by something.
I did.
Oh, could be Pollen Boy 2.
I know. Boogeyman is here. So.
Oh, my gosh. So what you been doing this week, Doc?
I've been actually, the first part of the week, I just did a lot of sleeping.
Good.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's one of these things where when I lay down, it's when I really start to cough and stuff.
Right.
So I felt bad because I would keep Sarah up. And so I would get up in the middle of the night when I would cough and go to the living room and just sit up or do something where I wasn't laying down. And I was fine, but as soon as I would lay down, it would kick in again. So I just would kind of have real sporadic a sleep pattern, and I would fall asleep for a couple hours and be up for an hour and then fall asleep for a couple hours and start
That's the
hacking.
worst.
Gosh, that is
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm
it's kind
sorry.
of like
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like a zombie type state. So it's just been really weird. So I haven't really actually done a whole lot. I've left the house just a couple of times, once to go get some medicine, and that was about it. Let's see, not a whole lot really going on besides that.
Jeez Louise.
But it's kind of nice though, because I've been home, and because I work from home anyhow, but it's really given me a great chance to get to know Discord and our patrons that have come on board with Patreon, and it's been so much fun just kind of connecting with everyone in a different way than we have before. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been way funner than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, it's cool.
I knew
because,
it was going to be fun.
I mean,
very
Chris was
easy.
really the only one that really knew what was going on with Discord. I think the rest of us were all pretty new to it, and Chris and I had been testing it out the last few weeks just to kind of get used to it. But with just one person back and forth, it's not really much different than like an instant message or a Google Hangout
or text
or a text
message
or something.
Yeah.
And
It feels
so
very natural.
it does. And when the doors opened and people were able to join in, man, you just kind of see what happens, and it's like, oh, this is the vision that Chris had. Now I can see what he could see.
Yep.
And so it's just been a lot of fun to hang out with people. And even though like Twitter and what have you, it can be pretty real time, to really have that real time communication.
Well, I mean, and the 140 characters or whatever the heck it is on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have, you're sending pictures back and forth and video and links, and you don't have to worry about like, oh, I got to try to get my sentences down and use things like "you are" instead of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if I said this on the show last week or not, but it's almost like it gives you the flexibility of the forum, but it gives you the ease of use of Twitter.
Yeah. Well, we didn't
So
have
it's
it
kinda
last
like-
week yet. You know what I'm saying? Like we had only been talking with just us, but having it opened up, and man, the 20-some patrons that joined in the first week, holy crap. Number one, thank you so much. It's humbling.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is.
But beyond that, being able to communicate back and forth has been like, I don't know, it's been like really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been really nice. And yeah, it's like you said, Gabe, it's just been really humbling to see people come on board and just kind of want to say, hey, we like what you guys are doing. And it's just been so cool to see that. And so, yeah, big thanks to everyone. It really means a lot. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Persona 5 still.
Nice.
You can play that with a cough.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely
you
can. Yeah, you can play that and just hit that X button to continue the dialogue over and over and over again. And that's pretty easy.
Yes.
So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. It's kind of the same thing. It's a lot of what I've been doing, but it's still super enjoyable. And
really?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like go fetch quests, and it doesn't feel like everything you're doing is just the same over and over and over and over and over again?
No, not a bit. And especially because when you go and there's a place called Mementos where you can kind of go, and it's kind of like sparring for boxing matches. You're kind of going and you're fighting people, but it's kind of like really just to build up your characters and your powers and stuff like that. And that's just a lot of fun because you can get harder and harder people to quote unquote spar with.
Yep.
And so it still moves you along. It still upgrades you and your powers and what have you. And so it's been nice where even when you're not technically forwarding the story, you're still working, bettering yourself. So when you get to the story, you're a lot stronger than you were beforehand.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
really cool,
and so it's been nice. I don't feel like I'm just spinning my wheels. I feel like even though I'm not on the main storyline, I'm still making progress as far as I go.
Right.
That's good.
And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I hopped into the Heroes of the Storm thing that you guys mentioned last week to get those Overwatch skins.
And
I hopped on with Stancil, and it's probably good that we did because neither one of us. What is this? A MOBA? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yes.
We just don't like MOBAs.
Yes.
And so we understood what we're supposed to do. We get how to work it and blah, blah, blah. We just don't like it. And so basically what happened is we got on a voice chat and Sarah and Becky voice chatted while Stancil and I just played tag with each other.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And it was, hey, let's go to this campfire and sit. And how fast can we run around this statue? Can you catch me? I'll try to catch you. And in the meantime, Becky and Sarah were just chatting. No. And if you're listening and you were playing seriously and we were on your team, apologies. We're only going to hop on 3 more times.
Right.
And then you'll never see us again until the next Overwatch thing. So I'm sure people who play Heroes of the Storm seriously probably hate this kind of thing because it's just, it's just these guys who are trying to get their Overwatch skins.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but it was fine. We turned off the voice chat, the text chat. It was just us. And we were having a good time. We were played our 5 games. We were out. We said, let's never do this again until next week. And so, yeah, it was fun though. We got our skins and then actually hopped in with Chris and played, I think almost the last we could play while this last special thing was going on.
Yeah.
And,
the Uprising event.
Yes. Thank you. And I hadn't played Overwatch since before we moved to Indiana here. And it took me a bit to get into it again, but man, I told Chris while we were playing, I forgot how much fun this game is. I just love this game,
man.
I guess I didn't realize it had been quite that long since you had played.
Yeah, it had been a while. So I was hesitant to get in just because it had been so long, but man, it was fun to get back in again.
Yeah. Nice.
Other than that, just kind of the same as far as gaming goes. I downloaded a couple of the free things that were on Xbox, but haven't touched them. It's just pretty much been Persona and Family Guy and Simpsons the whole week.
There you go.
So yeah,
nice.
it's been a good week.
Besides being sick.
Yeah,
Besides being sick,
despite
being sick, it's still
Despite
been a
having
good
black
week.
lung,
So.
it's been a good week.
Right.
I'm a coal miner, and I
do what I can to provide for my family.
Just keep checking that canary. Make sure it hasn't
keep
jumped
looking
over.
at that canary, man.
exactly. I have the black lung.
What in the heck does that mean?
Because they would put a canary in the coal mine, and if the canary died, that meant that you need to get
There's
out
no more
because
oxygen.
there's no more oxygen. You were going to die.
Oh,
Or
that's
you could die.
jacked up. Boy, Peter would have had a field day with that.
It's a bad time to be a canary.
Yeah,
really bad time. That or if you wanted to be in a Dumb and Dumber movie.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if that was a canary or not.
Poor Petey.
Well, Ed, we hope you get better by the end of the podcast tonight.
Yes, exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Now take yourself a break.
Exactly.
Alrighty.
Chris McCracken.
Yes. How's it going?
It's going good. How you doing, brethren?
Doing
What
well.
up, man?
Doing well. I did something this Saturday that kind of you and I may have in common, Mr. Gabe. I ran a 5K.
Hey.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so we went back out to that new Cowboys practice facility, and they were having like all these draft day events. Because, like I said before, the area right in front of it, since they partnered with the city that they're in, is also like a public park, and so they were hosting all these different events and whatnot that coincided with the draft that was happening last weekend. And on Saturday, they had what they were calling the Draft Day 5K. And so we went out there and we ran it. And my whole thing is, it was just going to be Stacy and I, because we've run other 5Ks where we're with other friends of ours. And I actually haven't been working on it for a while, but I have this overall goal is like, I want to run a 5K in under 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
That's that's fast. Like in terms of like what runners do, like legit runners, like that's a very modest goal. That's nothing like too crazy.
Right.
But it's something that I feel like I can do, and it would definitely be, like yay, I was able to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been training too much towards it because I didn't have a 5K I was working towards. And this one kind of came up, and I was like, oh, so I started training all the way up until it, but that was only like a week and a half. So it really wasn't much time to get ready, if you will. And because we didn't have people running with us, I kept telling her, like, look, I don't want to run ahead of you. She was like, hey, try for your 30 minutes or under 30 minutes.
Yeah, man.
I was like, I don't want to leave you because, I don't want you running by yourself. That's not any fun. She's like, she just kept encouraging me to do it. And so when we got there, I was like, all right, if you're really being serious and you don't mind, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I don't mind. Go for it. Because she had her own goal that she was working towards. And so I went ahead and I ran ahead and I did it. And I did not make my goal, but I did do my personal best, which is 31 minutes, 23 seconds.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
Good
there
for
you
you.
go, bud.
So, yeah, still pretty good. It was really windy that day, and like on sometimes that was awesome because it was like giving me a little push.
Yeah.
But then when you turn a corner and you're running right at the wind, it was a bit of a beatdown. So I don't want to say for sure I would have got it if it wasn't for how crazy the wind was, but I may have gotten it down to like 30.30 and a half or something
You'll
like that.
get
That
it,
could be
man.
cool. But
You'll
yeah,
get
so
it.
now I'm definitely looking for whatever the next one is that's happening soon, and I'll work towards that because now it's obviously within reach.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
the other thing is that this one, so it's kind of, I don't really know when it's like an expensive 5K versus another one because they all kind of have been about in the same range. This one was about $45, which I was like, okay, that doesn't sound too bad, but you usually get like a t-shirt, and then when you finish, you might get something that's kind of like a medal, not an actual medal, but something resembling a medal.
Okay.
Well, in this one, we got an actual medal, like you could actually, it was a hard, like I don't know what it's actually made out of, but like aluminum or something. And then you also got a shirt, but it was like a dry fit shirt.
Yeah,
and
man.
the crazy thing is that like at the Dallas Cowboys like pro shop, if you buy a dry fit shirt in there, just them by themselves are like $45-$50.
Right.
So it's like,
Ooh, you coming out in the black.
yeah,
Someone's
exactly.
got to
So I
pay
was
for
like,
that
heck
stadium.
yeah. Exactly. So I was feeling pretty good about all the stuff that we got.
You got some swag, man. That's
So
great.
that was a lot of fun. Stacy came in too. She also beat her best time. Her best time before was 36, and she came in at 34.
Nice.
So she
wow.
also
Good for
beat her
her.
goal. So that
There
was
you
awesome
go.
for her. I was really proud of her. That same day, we also had a crawfish boil we got invited to.
Oh, yes.
And neither one of us has ever had crawfish. So
Oh,
it was a
delicious.
totally brand new experience for us. The whole like figuring or learning how to actually open the things up and get what you're looking for. And because I was just like, what, did you just chew the whole thing? I don't really know. You know?
He's just popping them in like candy, just crunching on the
Yeah,
shells.
I was like, I don't really know
Little
what I'm doing
feet hanging
here.
out of his mouth. That's hilarious. Oh,
So we were taught the proper way to do it, and it was all right. But I mean,
It's
I think
good.
Stacy took way more to it than I did. Like I thought it tasted good, but I was just like, you know what? This is a lot of work for not much that I'm getting out of it.
Yeah.
So
Was it
I'm just
kind
go
of
inside where they have like the
Cajun?
tacos and burgers, and I'm gonna get some of that.
I know that's
Nice.
right.
How, How were the crawfish seasoned? Was it more of a Cajun style, or is it spicy?
Yeah,
or?
it definitely had some heat to it, but it wasn't crazy. And I
Nice.
think that's because they kind of like the people who were doing it are actually from New Orleans, so they know what they're doing.
Nice, yeah.
But I think they kind of take like a poll of who all's going, like, how hot do you want me to make this? And then
Right.
I guess more people wanted it a little bit milder, which, to me, like even a little spice can kick me on the ground sometimes. But it wasn't
Sure.
too bad. I was all right.
Good.
But it was definitely a lot of fun, and we got to hang out with a bunch of people from work, so that was cool. And then right after that, we went straight from there out to Kale and Katie's house, and we had a game night with friends. So
Oh,
other
very
friends of ours
cool.
came around. Yeah, we played a bunch of board games. We played Drawful, and then we
Nice.
moved on to the board games. We played this one that's a card game, and for the life of me, like I'm forgetting what it's called, but you basically have this spaceship and you all are on a team and you all have to keep moving these cards around. Like I might have this piece that fixes that, and you've got to keep passing them around.
Interesting.
And you've got to fix the spaceship in a time limit.
Hmm.
We were horrible at it.
That's awesome.
And the thing is that it's one of those games where it gets harder when you have more people because the time limit doesn't increase very much, but you have way more people you have to cycle through to figure out who's got what. So we played it about 3 times, and we're not able to. We died every time. We didn't make it. We didn't make it out alive. So, but it was still a lot of fun. On Sunday, Stacy went to go do her last kind of big workout session she was doing before she had to go on her next trip. And I stayed home and played some Heroes of the Storm with Kale. So I finally jumped into it as well, like Ed did. I actually kind of liked it. I mean, I'm not going to say
Good.
it's something I'm going to play like all the time just on my own necessarily. I mean, that's to be determined, I guess. But once the thing for me is that I was lucky that I was with Kale, who had played it before and kind of could just
Exactly.
tell me what's going on. Because
Yeah.
like if I was having to figure it out and figure out the characters and learn, because it's like Overwatch on crack, and there's way more characters, like 50 or something, which you don't have access to all of them right off the bat, but still.
And he's not
it's a lot of
comparing it to
characters.
Overwatch. He's just saying there's a lot of characters. It's not like
Yeah.
Overwatch. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Overwatch in the way that it plays, but it's like Overwatch in that it has a lot of characters to choose from, and they all
Right.
have their own special abilities that, like, just because this guy can heal himself doesn't mean this person can.
and it's what do you start out with 20? Like
Yeah, that's what you get for opening it up the first or starting it the first time. Or
right
something
now.
like
I don't
that.
know if that's always been the case, but right
Yeah.
now, yeah.
But I kind of gravitated towards the tank characters. I just like, especially the ones that had the ability where, like, if you're getting low on health, you can just back up a little bit and heal yourself.
Yep.
Or maybe like in damage, like as enemies die, you heal up. I tend to like that because that removes the whole like health aspect out of trying to figure out all the controls and all that. Because I'm not, super used to all the mouse and keyboard
It's
stuff.
overwhelming.
Yeah,
sure.
it is.
Yeah.
It's different.
But and I'm sure again it was the most helpful that I had Kale there to kind of explain. I didn't have to figure out what to do here. I would just be like, when he said, "Hey, go here, we're gonna do this," I would just do it. So that definitely took that element out of it and made it definitely more enjoyable. If I were figuring it all out on my own, I might have struggled way more than I did. But I got the Genji skin and all the Genji stuff for Overwatch, and then this week is the Diva stuff, which is the main thing that I want. I mean, the 10 loot boxes is going to be cool too, but I really wanted the Diva skin, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to jump back into it this week and get my 5 matches in. And I'll probably do more than that because Kale can only play on the weekends because he works nights during the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already got some people that are like, hey, I'd be down to play during the week, and I might jump in and play with some of them. So I probably will go past the 5 matches I need.
Nice.
But I'm not gonna get like crazy about it. But I had a good time with it.
Nice.
That's
And then
awesome, man.
This morning, I took Stacy to the airport, and she flew out for her next job. She's in Cleveland right now.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, so she'll be there for about 2 weeks, and then she'll come back.
I'll be close to her this weekend. I'm going to Cincinnati.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I don't know how
Well,
close
maybe-
Cincinnati and Cleveland actually are, but they're the same state, is what I mean.
I don't think they're that
at
close.
least an hour and a half. It might
it
be
really?
more. I don't think it's too ridiculous, but I could be totally wrong. I've been to Cincinnati. I have not been to Cleveland. And I feel like when I was in Cincinnati, I asked that, like, hey, how far is Cleveland? So just because those are only 2 cities I
They're
really
like, thanks a
think of
lot.
right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
You're like, I mean, you guys got the Bengals. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Video game wise, so outside of Heroes of the Storm, I played the Prey demo,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and I didn't really care for it.
Oh no.
Really?
But the thing is that I think what I've narrowed it down to is I don't think I'm a Bethesda person.
Uh-oh.
I just don't think their
Stadia.
games.
I don't
I
know
don't
what
think their
Bethesda
games
is.
work for me. Yeah, Bethesda, excuse me.
Thank you.
I don't think their games work for me because it doesn't play like, the gameplay is very different, but it kind of looks like, and it plays a lot like Dishonored in the way that it feels. It has, and I mean that in like the negative way. Like, I push my controller to the left, and it's like a second delay. Like, it's delayed reaction.
That is weird.
And I just can't do that on something, which granted, this game, the little bit that you play, it's not really Twitch based. I would say Dishonored's has more of the twitchiness aspect compared to this one. But still, I mean, just a few seconds in, I was like, wait a minute. And then I actually had forgotten who had made this game. And then I was like, this kind of looks like, this feels like, is this the same people who made Dishonored? And I was like, yeah. So I didn't even finish the demo. Like, I got I think it's only about an hour or something like that. I maybe got halfway through it, and I was like, all right, I feel like I've gotten enough.
Oh, man.
I do think I like the concept, and I think that it's like, it's interesting to me, and it's kind of creepy, and I would have liked to have gone further, but just, I couldn't get past the gameplay stuff. So I think unless something just really blows me away, I'm just going to kind of steer clear of Bethesda games. I just don't think, at least their first person stuff, which, do they even do anything outside of first person? They do, don't they?
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, but their first person stuff, I don't feel like it's for me. So,
Ed, did you play it?
Yeah, I did. I totally forgot that I did, and I actually liked that it felt like Dishonored.
Yeah, see, I probably would too.
And I didn't really feel there were a few people that kind of talked about the slight lag and stuff. I didn't pick up on that. But I liked the beginning of it. I liked the setup. I liked there's kind of like a little mind bending, like, oh my gosh, kind of, and I liked that. But as soon as the monsters came and it turned into like just like a strict, almost like a horror game.
Really?
I kind of lost interest. I was like, oh, I kind of liked it when it was just being weird and like kind of like how the end of BioShock Infinite was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? That's kind of how I felt in the very beginning, and I kind of wished it would have stayed on that part.
Oh man!
It also has a slight kind of Portal-esque vibe in the fact that like things are not what they seem in a way early on.
Yeah, and I preferred that. Once the monsters came and I was just kind of running around and they killed me the first time, and I was like, yeah, I think if this is what it's going to be, then I'm done, I guess. But
really,
I really liked the beginning part and wished it would have stayed like that.
So no interest now.
Nah, I'm glad there was a demo because I was probably gonna pick it up at some point.
Glad there was a demo.
Yep.
Check out my demo. Anyway.
Exactly. I'm trying to get signed.
Exactly. Outside of that, the only other thing that I played was a lot of Overwatch, trying to get whatever I could in the last little bit of the Uprising.
And you were jonesing for those skins, man. I love it. This is great.
And I came away at the final stages of it with quite the haul, I would say.
Nice, good.
I don't want to make anybody feel bad for not getting much.
Whatever.
But I got the young Torbjorn skin where he doesn't have the beard, which I thought was cool. I got the Reinhardt Overwatch skin, the outfit, the blue and white one that I kind of wanted. I got the Widowmaker skin, which I don't really care for, but a lot of people really want it. So I was like, oh, I wish I could give this to somebody, but I can't. But I got that.
Right.
I got the McCree Blackwatch skin, which is really cool. And I bought the Diva highlight intro. I never got it to drop for me, but I had enough coins I could actually just buy it because that's easily the best intro like that she had available in my opinion. So I was really excited to get that one because I play Diva a lot, which is part of the reason why I really have been playing Heroes of the Storm and really want that Officer Diva skin.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I had a good time with all that, and that is me in a nutshell.
Nice.
Awesome.
Router.
Yeah, man. By the way, it is 3 hours and 52 minutes from Cincinnati to Cleveland.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I was way off.
It's all good. Yeah, because Cincinnati's kind of toward the base of Ohio, and Cleveland's up on the north side. How you guys doing? Good to talk to you.
Yeah. Good to hear from you.
Nice to hear your voice.
Let's talk about Piper's topic of the week, shall we? And that's Ryan Ellis, and my freaking Nashville Predators are getting it on right now.
I had a feeling it was going to be the Predators again.
I am loving this action. I had made a prediction with one of my buddies, and I said, listen, if the Predators do beat the Chicago Blackhawks, we are going all the way to the Stanley Cup, and I'm holding to that prediction for the entire community if they want to participate in that as well. We are definitely looking like I think it's the 2012, and I'm going to get oops for this, the LA Kings. They did the same thing. They were the lowest seed of the playoffs, and they took everybody out and won the Stanley Cup. And this is feeling a lot like that. They're playing a lot like the LA Kings of that time.
How many more rounds is there? So we got past the first round. This is the second round.
This is the second round. We have Game 5 on Friday in St. Louis. If we win that, we advance to the conference finals. We play either the Oilers or the Ducks. That's another Game 7 series. Once that's done,
and we're
then
supposed to have lost already, right? Like everybody was saying, we weren't getting past the Blackhawks, and we swept them Jokers.
Everybody thought that we were either going to get swept or maybe won at least one game, and that was it. Mm-hmm. So it is super exciting.
Yeah, they're killing it right now.
Man, it is great, man. They are turning heads. Just a lot of the commentators and analysts are like, man, these Predators are looking really good. They're well coached. They got a good defensive line, and we have a heck of a goalie in Pekka Rinne. And and it's really kind of jazzing up the town too. I'm seeing a lot of Predators hats and jerseys, and everybody's really excited. And Bridgestone Arena was rocking them for these last 2 home games, and so they are up 3-1 against the Blues, and we go back on Friday. So, and Piper is just right there, loving every minute of it, which is so cool.
Nice.
And she's obsessed with our defensive linesman, Ryan Ellis, number 4. He's got this long red beard. And maybe because it reminds her of you, Chris. I don't know.
I know. She's like, I wish Mr. Ed could be on the Predators.
Yeah, I know, right? By the way, she wanted to ask how Mr. Ed was feeling because when we came back from San Francisco, he had a sore throat. So so I'll tell her that he now has the plague.
Tell
so
her
it's
worse.
all good. Yeah. Yes, you know, Mr. Ed, how he was feeling. Yeah, he's way worse.
Yeah, you know how in Disney movies things work out. Yeah, not this time.
Not so much.
Not this time.
Not in real life, honey.
Exactly. The beast stays the beast in real life.
That's right.
That's right.
Which actually isn't a bad thing. Remember? Hashtag reverse the curse.
Exactly.
Anyway. So, this past weekend was kind of a work weekend. It was a Main Street Festival here in downtown Franklin. So Saturday and Sunday, Lauren had a tent out in front of the store. And so it was kind of more of a work weekend.
We wanted to come see you guys so bad. Oh,
it's all good. Man, and honestly, it was so hot on Saturday. It was like 85 or so and a little bit windy. And then Sunday, it was kind of cloudy and really windy, and they actually closed the festival at about 2 because wicked thunderstorms came through just dumped on everybody.
Oh,
Fortunately,
wow.
we were able we packed up quickly and were able to get out. But one of our neighbors in their tent, it was an older lady, and I was helping her in the rain. I did my good deed for the day, and I helped her put some stuff in her car, and I was soaked by the end of it, but it was totally worth it. And but yeah, everything just got winds picked up, blew branches over, and it was nuts. So but yeah, so it was Main Street Festival, and so we didn't get to really relax too much. But cutting out a little bit early on Sunday was great because that's when the Predators game was. It was an afternoon game, so we were able to come home. I got changed and dried up, and then we watched the Predators game. So
there you go.
Yeah, mate. And then just, work is just kind of kicking my butt right now, and there's not a whole lot. Lauren is going to Dallas, Texas tomorrow.
Wow.
It's going to be in Chris's country. She's part of this company that sells all these health and beauty products called Beauty Counter, and she's been really, it was just this kind of side thing that she was always interested in, and she's really been killing it. And so she's going for this leadership summit that's in Texas this weekend. So she leaves tomorrow, and a couple of her friends are going, so they're all going to go together, which is nice. So I'm going to be single dad this weekend. It's going to be great.
You and Chris need to take a road trip together.
I know. Man. Seriously, dude. We should just get together, and I'll meet you in Arkansas, and then we'll go do something. But no, so she'll be out. I'm excited for her. I think she's excited about this little trip, too. So, yeah, man, just working and doing stuff on the gaming front. I did receive one achievement today / trophy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little TMI for some people, but you know what? I don't care. I'm older. It doesn't matter.
I'm older. It doesn't matter.
He finally reached the age where he doesn't care.
Exactly.
I just don't care. Yeah, I'm getting there. It's great. So we have. For work, I have these conference calls, right? And so they're marketing calls. It's just like what's going on during the week and that kind of stuff. And normally I dial in, I say, hey, I'm here, and then I put it on mute, and then I just go about my day. Well, today I had to go poop really bad. And right at the same time that a conference call started. So I'm like, well, I'm going to dial in and just see how this goes and go to the bathroom and just mute it and just sit there and hopefully I'll get past this. Well, at the start of the conference call, they're like, hey, we need somebody to pray for, just to start things off. Tim, why don't you pray for us?
And
I was
you're
like,
in the bathroom?
oh, man, I am sitting there literally on the bowl.
Oh,
So,
snap.
Oh my gosh.
I do the old unmute, I do the old prayer, and I knock it out of the park, and it was perfect. So, and then I went
And
right
they
back.
were none the wiser.
So I have never done that before in my life. So as I'm on the bowl, still on mute, I texted Lauren. I said, achievement unlocked. I just pooped and prayed on a conference call all at the same time.
Wow.
So
They
I
were
get
probably
the
like, the acoustics of this prayer is amazing.
I know.
Well, fortunately, the
Oh,
bathroom
God.
the bathroom isn't like very echoey in the store, which is perfect. So it was
Oh, okay,
kind of
right.
like it I don't think anybody would have known, which is great. But so Lauren's sending me all these hilarious gifts, and I'm just laughing about it. And I'm like, this has never happened before. So
That's amazing.
So on the Xbox, I would get an achievement. On the PlayStation, I would get a brown trophy, and we'll call it a
you would.
day.
There you go.
So there you go. That's hashtag poop life for me.
Yeah,
So
that's poop life for real.
I had to share it because it was just like, yeah, this has never happened before. And
Took poop life to church.
that's
Right.
that's right. Poop life conference call hashtag. There it is. So anyway, on the gaming front, besides that, it's still Rocket League for me, man. I'm just,
Wow.
I'm
Really?
I am just obsessed with it, man. It's because
Yeah,
it's
you
just
are.
a quick pickup. I'm just still going through that denial of I have so much to play, and so Rocket League's my comfort zone. But I'm also playing the mess out of Hearthstone. I did another solo campaign.
Nice.
And because I really wanted to get a few cards that I've always been playing against and really wanted because I always thought they were effective. And so I'm like, So I looked up where it was, and it was one of the solo campaigns. Didn't have to buy it. I had enough coin. And so I did that, and it's just fun, man, just putting combinations of different cards together, and it's just rekindled my love for Hearthstone. So I'm playing the mess out
awesome,
of that
dude.
right now.
That
Yeah,
is
I'm really-
crazy.
I
really
always kind
enjoying
of
it.
teeter on the edge of like just jumping back in and feeling like I should just get back into Hearthstone.
And that's what I did too, because what I'll do is I'll check what the quests are for the day.
Yeah.
And like say today it's like play 50 mage cards. So I'll go into the deck and I'll create a new mage card and just test it out and play with it. And sometimes I'm horrible and I concede and go back and kind of tweak it a little bit. But it's just, I don't know, there's just something about putting all these different pieces together where one minion affects the other, and like there are so many cards now. It's not over, like even if you were to come back, it's really not that overwhelming once you like look through the decks and just, if you start piecing things together, it really I've got some favorites that I know I always use and I always find them to be very effective. But it's such a fun game. So I am hoping to get into some actual more serious console gaming. Work is going to start slowing down just a little bit, which is good, just because some projects are ending now. Depending on whether or not I pick up another one right away, I don't know. But I really want to get into some Witcher Blood and Wine, man. It's sitting there staring at me every day, and I'm just like, but then I got to go back and learn the control scheme and all
That's
that fun
the
stuff.
problem.
But I just need to do it because, like I've said before, I do miss my morning crew. I need to start streaming
Morning
a little
crew?
bit more. Yeah, and then just go from there. So that's what I'm aiming for. Hopefully, I'll be able to get into it soon. But yeah, man, Rocket League. Anybody up for it early in the morning? Let me know, and I'll play a few games.
That's awesome.
Be fun. Yeah. And I believe that is it for me.
Nice.
Mr. Patillo,
Oh yeah.
hit me.
Man. Yeah, me and Chris both did that old 5K.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
you
How
did. You survived.
How'd you feel afterwards? How'd you feel?
I'm not dead.
Yeah? I knew you wouldn't be.
That's always good. Man, it was one of those things I was really went into it open-minded, and I was like, all right, Gabe, like, let's find out if this is a thing for you. Because, I wouldn't mind it being a thing. That'd be kind of like cool. Like, yeah, I do 5Ks on the side. You know what I'm saying? Chubby Ninja, what? And I just did not enjoy it that much.
No?
I did not like it. Like, number one, it's a long way, especially when you don't run.
Right.
And then Number two, maybe it's because it was the 5K. There just wasn't enough distractions going on. Like you're just out there running, just on the street, just running. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't like this at all.
What did you mean by there's not enough distractions?
Well, I remember when people were telling me that they were like, oh man, you're going to get out there and there's bands playing and there's people handing out beer and it's hilarious and people are blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I can do with some distraction.
Dude, that's a 5 keg.
Yeah.
Yes.
I totally got it mixed up. Dang it. What did I sign up for? And there was just like, there was one band and then there was like another one was setting up, but they weren't really like set up yet. So they were kind of setting up for the real marathoners and stuff like that.
You didn't bring headphones? You didn't wear headphones? And
did you run with Jenny or did you listen to music? What did you end up doing?
We started running together like the first 10 feet. And then we just noticed that our natural paces were very different from each other.
Yeah. Stacy and I's natural paces are way different. When we would run together, I always would have to keep like reining it in and slowing down just because my normal pace is a little bit quicker than hers.
Right. And so I thought we were going to run together, but man, I was like, it's kind of survival of the fittest out here.
I love you, babe, but see ya.
Yeah. And so like I was running, and then I'd look back and she's right there. And I'm like, all right, run, look back. Okay, there she is. Run, like, because she's getting harder to spot. Okay, run. And then like, I didn't know where she was anymore. And so I just went ahead on. Is that bad?
Good for you, man. No,
I mean, as long as she's cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's about pace.
I didn't know if she'd be cool with it until the finish line. When I see her, I was like, I hope she's not mad. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, babe, you didn't stay with me.
Exactly. If she would have hit me with that, I'd have felt really, really bad.
But she was cool with it.
But she was cool with it. She was like, oh, I knew right when we started that we wouldn't be running together. Because you start on, here's the thing, man. Nashville, like Tim was just saying, was crazy hot that day. So we started our run at about 7:15 in the morning and it was already 75 degrees out.
Wow. Yep.
And so that, and then Nashville is hilly as a beast. Mm-hmm. And so, man, it was just something else, man.
I got to say though, that picture you posted, you looked genuinely happy.
Did I?
Yeah.
I was genuinely happy it was over.
He is a performer, He can't act.
That's true. He can smile for a camera.
So there wasn't any, besides like finishing and was there any part of it at all that you enjoyed, like liked?
I liked hanging out after it was over.
Okay.
You like the idea of it being over, yes.
Yeah, so
because
oh, poor Chris. He's so hoping that you would love 4K more.
No. But I mean, like to jump in, I know, but like someone who doesn't run to just jump in and do a 5K. Not only that, you did like, I think you did a pretty good time from what I remember. So I mean, it's not like you just hit the ground running. Like you didn't ease into it any. You didn't really give yourself any wiggle room to try to see, is this something I enjoy? Because you're right into the am I going to die kind of feeling. I would assume.
I don't like running.
Oh yeah, I don't either,
but
man.
a lot of people say they don't like running because they're not doing it correctly. When they do it the way that it's intended for, a lot of people are like, oh, and there's ways that people can kind of get into it. Again, I'm not saying that you will. Right. I was one of those people too, because I never liked running. I always hated running in high school, like when you'd have to run in the gym or whatever. I was always an anti-runner. And then when I realized, hey, there's an actually proper way to running, and then you can really like zone in on it, and it's like there's this rhythm that's created, and it's actually, as crazy as it sounds, it's actually very relaxing.
Really?
And it wasn't until I learned that I was like, oh, running's actually a lot of fun. But before that, I was dead set against it. I was like, running's the dumbest thing ever. Unless somebody's chasing me, I'm not doing it.
Right.
That's all I mean. But it still doesn't work for everybody, obviously.
Yeah, I think I'm not diagnosed ADD or anything like that. But like, it is just so boring to me. Like the repetitive nature of it. Like just, and I had a podcast going and stuff like that, and you know, listening to stuff. And when I first started out, I was like, all right, this is cool. You're running a massive amount of people. I feel like I did more side to side at very first than I did going forward. It was crazy. because you're just dodging so many people, and everybody's got such different paces, and so it's just kind of all over the place. But yeah, man, I like halfway, and they didn't have mile markers out there for the 5K. Wow.
Yeah, really? The one that I did didn't have them either, and all the other ones I've ever done have had mile markers, and this one didn't. That was kind of weird.
Interesting.
Right.
But they may have blown over because it was windy like a mug.
Right. And so I don't know, man. I didn't know how far I was, and it just kind of felt like a long way. I had to stop and walk a couple times. You know what I mean? Sure. Which was disappointing because I wanted to run the whole thing, but just some of them hills, man, I was like, doggone it.
I walked part of the time.
Yeah.
And seeing as how you're not like a runner,
yeah,
you can't give yourself a hard time for having to stop and walk. I mean, come on.
Don't beat yourself up.
Well,
you're pretty much doing this cold turkey anyway. So, I mean, that in itself is a feat just to complete it, because not a whole lot of people can do that without bonking completely and
exactly
giving up. So kudos to you, man. Chubby Ninja's still at it in my book.
Yeah, man. Well,
you're already naturally talented at so many things. You don't need another thing to be like, I did it in 12 too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't need another thing to be annoyed at you with. So it's all good.
Trust me, it was one of those things where, like, when the time started coming in, like, I told you guys last week, I have no idea what a good time or a bad time is.
Yeah.
But one of the kids in our group, and granted, he does cross country at high school. He ran that thing in 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, 18 minutes. I was like, my time's nowhere close to 18 minutes.
Well, it probably shouldn't be either. If it was, you'd be amazing at something else naturally.
Right. So it ended up being, I don't remember the change, but it was like 34, almost like 35 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, that's great,
man. For comparison, really, like I have run a lot of 5Ks, and I, periodically, and then I'm getting into running a lot. Like I run a couple of miles every time that I run, and I only did it in 31, which that's not that much further behind me, So that's really good for someone who's just like, all right, I'm gonna do a thing and just go and do it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's a really good time, especially for a first outing on like a 5K. Yeah. That's a really good time.
So, and it's funny because I don't know if not knowing where I was helped or hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I would have wanted to know, like, oh shoot, I'm only at 2 miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And been, all tired. But yeah, I mean, afterwards, like, and after me and Jenny got to like hang out for a while, I was like, this is fun. Like being here, because like the Run for Hope thing that we did, like they rent out like some big area in the LP Field Stadium, or Nissan Stadium it's called now. And so like that was really nice, and they're making like omelets, and it's like unlimited food, which come out now.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, it was.
That's great.
I mean, it's really nice afterwards. Like there's drinks galore. They're making food. They've got dinner food and breakfast food, and they're all making it right there in front of you, for you. And so you just go get the omelet you want, and then you can go back and get some more eggs if you want. And so, it was fine. I think.
There you go.
So, and then besides that, beat Zelda this week.
Yeah, congratulations.
Go ahead and cross that old finish line on 2 things.
Are you done with it?
Oh, yeah.
Like, is it a game that you can go back and play more, or when you're done, you're done?
I don't know if it's a spoiler to say either way.
Okay.
Only because it's so new.
But you're done personally.
Are you done with it?
I'll be selling it.
Wow, okay. There it is.
But there's DLC that's about to...
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a bunch of story DLC supposed to drop. You're not interested in keeping it for that?
No.
Right.
Fair enough.
I'm glad that there's DLC coming out for folks.
But I ain't doing it.
Not me personally. But then again, and this might be double-sided to say, but like, I always talked about how I felt like the story was struggling. And so to release story DLC... for me, doesn't seem like it would be that. And so I think it would just be more errand running. And so I did like finish some things up, and that town I was telling you about, like I fully did that because somebody told me that if you fully build the town, there will be a guy that ends up moving there that can finish off your outfits. Whatever you call it, you're
a tailor.
Well, not really, but like he'll have pieces of things that you have already that you might be missing. So if you have like a helmet that goes to a certain outfit, he might have the rest of the outfit.
Oh, okay.
And so
gotcha.
I built the town just to do that and be able to put together a whole outfit. But I ended up not using the outfit anyway that I bought. So beat that. That was cool to put that to bed and finish a Zelda. I don't know how many. I should have looked at how many hours. I don't know how many hours I spent in the world. I think I finished with like 16 hearts. And so
is there a limit to how many you can get that you're aware of?
I mean, yeah, because you have to pay for the hearts through the shrines that you do. So it's every 4 shrines you can get either another heart or more stamina. And early in the game, I'd focused on stamina and getting stamina. And then when I found out that you had to have a certain amount of hearts to get the, what do you call it? What sword was it?
Master Sword?
Master Sword.
You have to have 13 hearts to get that. So then I started working towards hearts.
So did you have to go back to these shrines to
No,
get
once
the
you do
hearts,
a shrine, you get a spirit orb or something like that. And then you trade in the spirit orbs at like these statues, these prayer statues. They'll say, we'll take 4 spirit orbs and give you 1 heart container or a little extra stamina. That kind of thing. So
cool, man. Well, at least you did it.
Yeah, done with that. Yeah. On to Heroes of the Storm. And I've been playing the mess out of it. So I did my 5 and past. Kale too helped me. Some other guys jumped on and helped me. Luke helped me a lot. Right before the show, I was playing with Nick Cooper in Chicago.
I thought I saw you on Discord. It was showing you playing it, and I was like, I think he's over his 5 hours that he needed, or his 5 games.
Oh, I'm way over the 5 games. I finished the 5 games late last night.
So did you get have you gotten the Diva skin yet, or has that one not started yet? You already got it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I don't know. I haven't started up the PlayStation since. But I'm guessing I got it. It's in there because I got the Genji skin. I went and checked that a couple days ago.
Well, whenever you finish the challenge, whatever the week is, it tells you all the rewards you got, and it should have said and you got this Diva skin. Just go log on to Overwatch. Yeah. It's there.
You know what's funny? It didn't tell me that about the Genji skin unless I just missed it. And then this time it unlocked a bunch of stuff in Heroes of the Storm, but it didn't say anything about Diva. And so I'm just trusting that I got it. I mean, I definitely completed the Nexus challenge, which is what you have to do to get it. So I know I did that. So I'm just figuring I have it.
Yeah, I'm excited to get in there and get it. I want that Diva skin.
Yeah, exactly. And then because of our conversation last week, I polled our community on Twitter about whether they prefer surround sound or great headphones, or if they usually play on mute. And great headphones went out by a landslide.
Yeah,
really?
59% said great headphones. Wow. 39% said surround sound. 2% said they play on mute.
Wow. I noticed on Facebook it wasn't nearly as many responses, but it was more people for surround sound.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and it's funny because Facebook doesn't repost the poll.
Right.
So at first I wasn't sure what they were talking about, and then I had to go on Twitter and look, and I was like, oh wow, I was kind of surprised. It was weird.
Oh, so people were just commenting?
Yeah, like they knew what it was about, and so they were answering as if there was the poll there. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool.
Man, I don't know how to work Facebook. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting that most people play with headphones, but I would imagine with all the dads and wives and all that we that
seemed to be a common theme is because of the kids or whatever they play with headphones.
Right. Especially I know some people were talking about the language, which I totally understand in some games. And I think it's interesting. I think for those that are offended by language, don't sell yourself short and play on mute or just turn the voices down.
Yeah.
I think that's usually a setting.
Yeah, most games you can separate out audio, music, and overall, and like the game sound, and then you usually have a master on top of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, sound effects.
Yeah, I would say turn the voice down and you can still enjoy all the shooting.
Right.
And all the ambient noises.
You can enjoy all the heads exploding and blood spurting.
Exactly.
While you're not hearing bad words.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Right. So I think that's it for me.
Nice, man.
Nice.
Good deal.
Good week.
So are you going? You have a show this weekend in Cincinnati?
Show this weekend in Cincinnati. We're starting to get into some house stuff. So we have some days coming up that I don't have some. I feel like I've had something every week. Today we met about the Jesus Freak Cruise with Toby and started kind of flirting with a set list of, what DC Talk could do and stuff like that. So we're starting that up, and he's going back and forth. He's going to go back and forth with Mike and Kevin and make sure he's not missing anything and that kind of stuff. So we started those conversations.
So at what percentage do you think that is as far as like building the show or the set or whatever?
Oh, today was the first talk.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I think they have rehearsals in 3 weeks, and then that's when it'll start dialing in big time. So
when is that cruise?
Nice.
July. I think the Lighties are coming.
What?
Get out. Really?
I think so. I feel like they said something about that. So that'll be
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. What else? I think that's it. So Router.
Yeah, man.
You got it?
Yeah, man.
I don't know if I'm talking to Router or Ed.
I know.
Exactly.
I know, right?
I'm channeling Ed this week.
Yeah, you are.
I like it.
Yeah, man.
Well, let's do it!
This is going to be super, super quick. We got new releases this week. As we have said, Prey is out for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. We have some DLC for Nier Automata.
Yeah.
The DLC is called, ready? Here we go.
Yes,
3C1D119440927. That's the name of the DLC.
Rolls off the tongue.
That's
It rolls right off the tongue.
Is it just me
easily
or does that
remembered?
feel fast?
To have DLC that fast?
Yeah, is that quick, or has that game been out for a minute?
That seemed fast.
I feel like it's a little
fairly fast, but there's been games that have come out with stuff super quick. I think the game came out in early to mid-February.
Okay.
So
wasn't that long?
not too
Okay, that's
bad.
not terrible. Yeah, that's
it came
not
out a
terrible.
little bit before. Actually, no, it came out like a week after Horizon, a week or two after Horizon. So maybe it was March.
So it might be early March
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's still a quick turnaround. They must have just had this stuff almost available anyway. And
it came out in
spread it
Japan
out.
first, so it was already out there
that's
for like
true.
a week or two before it got here. So
Interesting.
There you go.
Yep.
Dreamfall chapters for the PS4 and Xbox One, and Flat Out 4 Total Insanity for the PS4, Xbox One. We had one question mark on this one. Zach Ald at the Dark Legends. Tim and Chris said they could keep Gaga when Gabe said get rid of. I don't know if that's an oops or if that's just an opinion.
No, that's a
that's a
an
fact.
accurate reporting of what happened.
Right. There you go. That is a good description of exactly what happened. So I don't know if that's an oops, but there it is. I figured just because
That's funny.
I had mentioned that I don't necessarily read all of the oops, but in fact I do. I don't want to discriminate from anybody. If they have an oops, and if there's a hashtag NTTG oops, I will read it unless it's a repeat. But that's what we had this week.
There we go.
Nice.
Back to you, gentlemen.
Christopher McCracken.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight a few little milestones that our friends over at Blizzard have just achieved.
Yes.
They have come out and said that they have surpassed 30 million registered players for Overwatch.
Yeah, congratulations.
And that game
good
is
for them.
only just coming up on its year anniversary. It released last May.
What?
Wow.
Overwatch only
Yeah,
been out for
seems
1
crazy.
year?
Now, granted, it is
Really?
on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, but yeah, it's just coming up on a year. So that is crazy growth. But also coupled with that, and that is a big number, but then you got Hearthstone.
Oh, Lord have
And
mercy.
they are now sitting at a registered 70 million players.
Wow.
That's
Really?
crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy
wow.
town.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
Blizzard-
worldwide.
like
yes,
outside of
worldwide.
like Heroes of the Storm, because that's not the most popular MOBA. I mean, when Blizzard makes a property, it's like they just make gold. They're just like creating
They
money
really
out
do,
there. They're
man.
just doing it.
I'm really,
It helps that it was free.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
true.
It does.
Yeah.
Definitely
It's
does.
true. I'm really impressed with them, man. Like, I don't play a ton of Blizzard games, but what I do play, they just do it right, man. They, I don't know. They're just
They seem to
really
always have a
professional.
nice level of polish on them.
Yeah. Like everything's right there. And even if it's not like any updates, like they'll update a few things and it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense to do that. And I'm super impressed with them, man. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really impressive stuff.
I can't believe that 30 million in 1 year. Wow. For
I know.
Overwatch.
That's crazy.
And not only that, but it was a brand new IP for them too, as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Wow.
ridiculous.
I'm excited about this. NBA Playgrounds, I talked about it a couple weeks ago. It kind of looks like NBA Jam. It's 2-on-2. It's arcade style, really cartoony. Looks really, really fun and fast paced. Finally got a release date. We know it's going to be $20 on the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And it comes out on May 9th, which is next week.
Oh, really? That quick?
That quick, baby. So it's officially licensed, which is fun. So LeBron, Steph Curry, Shaq, all these guys are going to be on there. So that's really fun. I'm really looking forward to playing this. And now I'm totally torn as to what to get it on, because it looks cartoony enough that I could get it on the Switch. It's not like
it's for sure coming to Switch. That was listed.
Yes.
Nice.
And for only $20, I know that I'm going to get a lot of play out of that.
Yeah. I mean, does it rely completely? It doesn't completely rely like on multiplayer, does it? Like over the internet connection?
I don't know. It'll have single player, local multiplayer, and online multiplayer.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I would almost lean towards the Switch. I mean, that's just what I know of like NBA Jam and whatnot.
Yeah.
And kind of similar in the same vein. That feels like a mobile game, like a game that it fits perfect in being able to take around with you.
Right,
kind of thing.
that you'd want to play like out and about instead of just always having to be at home to play it.
You could play it on the basketball court.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Just off the basketball court, I'll find a nice park bench.
Right.
And table and do it there. Yeah, yep.
I don't know, man. If it were me, I'm going to tell you to lean a little bit more towards the Switch side.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like an airplane game.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Sounds like, or a bus in the bunk game.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
Yep.
Exactly. So I'm really excited about that. NBA Playgrounds. You know what's funny? I haven't bought Mario Kart 8 yet.
Really?
Whoa.
I thought you did for some reason.
I was going to, and then I knew that if I bought it, I wouldn't finish Zelda, or I wouldn't finish in a timely manner.
At least you know yourself well enough to be like,
Well, I knew that it would just draw me away, and I was like, I need to finish Zelda. But I'm excited about this NBA Playgrounds. Man, maybe I don't get Mario Kart 8. Here's the only reason I would get it.
Wow, well, look at that. What is happening over there?
Listen.
Oh
is
my
the
gosh.
world ending?
Remember I told you that Jenny didn't sound too hype on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's sticking in the back of your
That's
head right
sticking
now?
in the back of my head because I'd really love to play it with her.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. She's making dinner tonight. She was like, is that Mario Kart game out yet? And I was like, what you trying to do, have 4 babies? And so she kind of like perked up a little bit. And
was she asking because she wanted to play or because she just wanted to know if you were...
Well, she was like, what are people saying about it? Are they saying it's fun? I was like, yeah, people are saying it's awesome. And here's the thing. She loved Mario Kart on Wii.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't love it on Wii U, and here's why. Drifting in Mario Kart on the Wii, you could automatically drift if you set it to that, or you could set it to manual and have to jump drift.
Right.
I loved manual.
Wii U took automatic away. But I hear that there's a mode on the new one that automatically drifts and keeps you from falling off the map.
Ooh.
So I think that with the automatic drift, she doesn't need help falling off the map because she's better than that. But I think the automatic drift she'll like. It's the jump drifting that she really didn't like because she didn't play that way on the Wii version.
Right. A lot. Yeah. Sarah was the same way.
Really?
Yeah. She was like, I have to learn how to drift now.
Right. So
yeah. I mean, when I started, I was automatic, but I love the manual. You have so much more control.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
You never know, man. She might be into it.
So with her saying that, is that making you reconsider and think you will get it, or
yes,
are you still...
that's what it's got me like. It's got me starting to lean back towards getting it.
Okay.
Plus, I got like a $25 gift card over at Best Buy waiting for a brother, and so I'm gonna get it digital anyway, and then so
there you go.
We'll see.
Nice.
We'll see what to do. Christopher McCracken.
Well, since we're talking about Mario Kart, Nintendo announced that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the fastest selling version of the game ever. They sold 459,000.
They need to stop doing that.
Yeah, I know. And that was just the first day. So it's obviously the number's gone higher than that by now.
I know, but I don't like how they announced that something's the fastest selling of that game.
Yeah, but you're going to have to probably expect this for at least this first year because
you need that marketing angle.
They had all this bad press and weren't talking about anything in the whole Wii U cycle.
Yep.
So it's like they want to...
They have good news. They're going to share it, man.
Yeah, exactly. They want to paint this as a positive light and ride this wave of positivity as long as possible. So I don't blame them, really.
Kudos to them, man. I think they're righting their wrongs. Definitely.
Huh. I just don't... It sounds such like...
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
You would hope the new thing is the best selling one.
Yeah.
Like if this new Zelda didn't outpace any of the last Zeldas, then that's a problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And I'm not saying that every sequel should outpace the original, but that just doesn't seem like news.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one did better than the last one. You're like, well, we'd hope that's why you made it.
Well, I think their point though is that it's the fastest.
Is how bad the Wii U did. That's what makes it the news.
Yeah.
For them, anyways.
Yeah, but it's saying ever. It's not even just talking about Wii U. It's saying out of all of them, right?
Yeah, for Mario Kart. Yeah.
And it's the fastest selling game. It's not the biggest seller, so far. It's the fastest selling up to this point. So, I mean, to me, that's pretty cool.
Of just Mario Kart, though, not of
just Mario Kart. Yeah.
No. It didn't beat Zelda. Not at all.
Yeah, no.
Right. Well, yeah. We don't know.
Well, that's good.
But it's still a big number, and they have an attach rate of 45%. So nearly 1 in 2 Nintendo Switch owners have bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Unlike Zelda, where more people bought the game than bought the Switch.
Than the actual Switch. Right?
So, I mean, it's still really, really good sales for them. Kudos to them.
Mm-hmm.
This is fun for me to talk about. There was a short film called Heroes Never Die that was released by some indie filmmakers, and it was shot here in Nashville.
Hey.
Well, let me take that back. I don't know if it was shot here in Nashville. I'm sorry. But the girl that's playing Mercy lives here in Nashville, and she's a friend of a friend. So somebody was like, hey, you're into gaming, right? I was like, yeah. They're like, my friend's playing Mercy in like a short film for a game called Overwatch. I was like, what?
What?
And so I went and checked it out. They showed me the pictures. It looks really cool. And then I'm writing a song with this girl named Carmen Justice the other day, and the guy had like all this video game stuff all around. And I was like, hey, you're a gamer? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool, you got Overwatch. And he was like, yeah, man. And I was like, sweet. I was like, do you like it? We're just talking stuff when we should be working. And he's like, you know what's really fun? And I was like, what? He was like, there's a short film that came out and I got to score it. And I was like,
oh, wow.
What? And so he got to show me before it was released this short film with his score on it. And so I was like, oh man, I'm connected to this thing all over the place. So
that's amazing.
Is it like an official Overwatch thing? Or is it like a fan film?
No, it's a fan film.
Okay.
But it's really cool. It starts with Mercy as a child and her dad, and her dad's a scientist, and he wore wings. And so she would wear wings as a kid to emulate her father. And then when she grows up, then obviously she's the Mercy that we know from Overwatch with the wings and everything.
Man, I want to see it. I got to look it up.
Yeah, man.
I wonder if they're submitting this for the Nashville Film Festival, because that's coming up.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why they made it, but
it makes sense though. That's really cool.
The cosplay and it looks awesome, and my buddy scored it. So
that's nice. So cool, man.
Yeah, that's fun, right?
Yeah, that's totally cool.
Chris McCracken.
All right, so Tom Clancy's The Division is trying to win people back again. I've heard that this game has gotten a lot better, but I haven't gone back to it. But this might be the opportunity.
We need to say though too, the game is good already.
Yeah, it was good, but it had its issues that people complained about, like that was making the end game kind of screwing up, like glitches and things where the game you wouldn't get your loot drops and all that kind of stuff. I've heard that they've cleaned up a lot of that stuff. But Thursday, May 4th to Sunday, May 7th, you're going to have another free weekend that you can try on PlayStation 4, Windows, PC, and the Xbox One. So I might give it a download and hop back in there and just take a peek around, see what's going on.
Yeah.
So did you play it the first time around?
I played both. They had like 2 different demos of it, like an alpha and a beta. I played both of those. I never bought the game.
Oh, okay. I bought it.
Yeah.
I bought it with the street team when I was in
Street team?
Utah.
Oh, that's right.
And I really liked the game. It didn't stick with me as long as I would have wanted it to. But I love, like, there's a heftiness when you run. It's got all the things that I don't like about Wildlands. Where Wildlands feels like you're light on your feet and the guns are quiet. This is like the exact opposite. You feel the weight of you running around.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
Cool, man.
Especially at first. So I think over a weekend you can really enjoy some Division.
That's cool.
I would recommend that people check it out.
Yeah. I might be giving it a shot.
You should give it a shot.
Well, it depends on how much Hero of the Storms I'm going to be playing.
Oh, that's true too. I feel you on that. The game grabbed me a little bit, man. I'm liking it, especially coming from LOL. Coming from League of Legends to this, I feel like, obviously the learning curve is still there if you've never played a game like this. But I'm glad that I got to play a little League of Legends first, because getting into Heroes of the Storm, it didn't feel so crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
I wasn't expecting there to be so many different maps with different objectives on those maps to do.
That's what majorly helps, and I think that's what's drawn me from League of Legends. League of Legends is one map, and you do the same thing every time. You are trying to, defeat the base. This one is like, you got to go do this and maybe release some Zerg, or go do this and hold this point. And so it helps with the movement. It's not so like, for those that play League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm, you'll understand this, but it's not so much like this kind of character has to go in the bottom lane. This kind of character has to go in the top lane. This kind of character has to go mid. This one goes in jungles. Like, there's not that seriousness behind it that League of Legends have. Now you're definitely going to run into some folks now that are like, you suck at this game. And I'm like, you see that little number by my icon that says 3?
Right?
I'm just here for Diva, okay?
Exactly.
And so there's a lot of people doing that, obviously, and I know it's bugging some of the top players. But if you're a beginner, you're going to get matched with beginners. Unless you play with Nick Cooper or Luke, somebody who's way higher than you, then you're going to get, drug into it. So me and Holy Headshot earlier this week were playing it. It was fun. Good time.
Good.
Very cool, man.
So I don't know exactly how to explain this, but the story came from Forbes. No, it didn't. Sorry, this is a different story. I don't remember where this one came from.
Psych.
I guess China, The Verge. China's Ministry of Culture has released a set of rules that are governing online gaming, in the sense of like, where if a game has random loot boxes, they have to let people know what their chances of getting certain things are. And I thought that was really interesting. It took effect on the 1st of March. And so a lot of these bigger games like Hearthstone or Overwatch are having to let people know, Dota, League of Legends. And I guess they've added loot boxes to Heroes of the Storm, which I just started playing it, so I figured it was always there. But when I was playing with people that have been playing, they were like, when did they add loot boxes to Heroes of the Storm? And so they're having to release the numbers on what the percentages on certain things are. I thought that was really interesting that China pushed for that. It's something to do with their online gambling and all this stuff. Like that. I don't totally understand it, but I just thought it was really interesting that they're pushing for that. And so now they're having to disclose some of those things. What else you got, Christopher? Or you know what, Ed? You got some free games to talk about?
I got a few free games for you, man.
Let's hear it.
Nice.
Let's see. Let's start off on Xbox, because they have these weird dates.
Yeah, seriously.
From May 16th to June 15th on the Xbox One, you can get Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams Director's Cut.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Because if you're going to play Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams, you don't want to deal with that regular version. You want the Director's Cut.
And you want the free one.
Exactly. Exactly. Also, that same date range, you get Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris.
Oh, nice.
Which I believe has been, I guess it was on the 360. I got it free maybe a year ago. So there's that again for you if you want it. You don't want it. From May 16th to May 31st on the Xbox One and 360, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2.
Oh, yeah, good.
So,
Yeah, they just did The Force Unleashed not too long ago, so now you'll have both of them.
There you go, see? Anxious to try that one out. And Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. You do want to try that one out. That one's worth it.
You love those Legos games.
I'm telling you, man, it's so much fun. I can't even help
He's all about them.
I know, right?
Did you ever play any more of that one that was kind of like No Man's Sky?
No, but I saw in the news that they officially, there was like a report saying, hey, people have been having that exact problem I had for the last 3 months. And I was like, I know. And they still haven't solved it. Like, yeah, people are just having to start over again, and then they lose that game.
Oh my gosh.
So I haven't touched it since, just because
just because
of that. So yeah. Over on the PlayStation for the month of Mayo, Tales from the Borderlands, get on it if you haven't.
Oh.
Ooh.
I gotta download that.
Abzu, which is one that I've always been interested in and never picked up, so excited
I'll do the
for
same.
that.
I'll give it a try.
Those are both on the PS4. Over on the PS3, Blood Knights and Port Royal 3, Pirates and Merchants. And then for the PS Vita cross-buy with PS4, Laser Disco Defenders.
Yes.
Nice.
And Typewriter.
What?
Type and then Writer, R-I-D-E-R. So type writer. I don't know what it is.
I think it's a puzzle game where you're like, you're a letter, and then you go along and all these other letters around, you have to randomly fix and figure out the puzzle. Something I saw something about it. Yeah.
That sounds familiar. I think I actually looked at that game one time when I was bored and looking for a game to play, and that one caught my eye, but I didn't do anything with it. But there you go. There's some free games. Play Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah, man.
That one was really fun.
Too.
I really
liked
it.
It's the whole series, right? Like not just the first episode or anything?
It doesn't specify, so I assume it's the whole thing, because they've given away the first one for free so many times now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Chris, what else you got? Brethren?
I had one other story, and it's the Wall Street Journal is reporting that analyst Damien Thong, I think is how you say his last name. He said
That's right.
He said that he expects Sony to release its next generation PlayStation by the second half of 2018.
Wow.
Now, obviously, he's an analyst, and analysts just kind of make predictions, and analysts aren't always right. But this same guy did also correctly predict the PS4 Pro and the PS4 Slim, so they're kind of leading a little bit of credibility. They're like, hey, this guy might know what he's talking about. Yeah. Now, Gabe, you're saying you think that would be a mistake.
I think it'd be a giant mistake.
Well, real quick, before we get into why you think it'd be a mistake, like I have said from a while back now that I think it was E3 last year. I was like, I think by 2019, I think 2018 is not happening.
No.
But 2019 is when I think it's going to happen. But I don't feel like 2018, especially the second half of it, would be crazy. I don't feel like that would be like a disastrous thing. So what is your thought process?
Well, I think just looking at console generations, how they've unraveled over the last couple consoles, I just think it would be a little fast. It just seems a little quick, especially because
how much time would that be?
That'd be 5 years.
Oh wow!
Yes, and that I think the PS3 generation was 7 years.
I think that's right.
The PS3 generation was long. Like that generation was way longer than most of them. I think PS2 was 5 years, and I think PS1 was something only like 3.5 or 4 or something like that.
Really? Yes, but we also saw a lot of limitations with the PS1. And then so I think that they've got such a great platform. It's sold like gangbusters, especially in comparison, that I think if you rush something out now, just like the Pro, I think the Pro I think they missed the mark on something special that they could do with the Pro. With how it's about to get swamped by Scorpio as far as power. Now, I still think, this is me personally, I still think Sony has the better exclusives. And I think that's
let's just be honest. That's I don't feel like that's really a huge debate. And, well, maybe that they're better, but they definitely have way more.
Yes, they've got more.
So there's definitely that.
And they're better. I'm just kidding.
No, they are.
But I just think that you're cutting your legs out from under you maybe before the console's not done selling yet. If you do it, especially by the end of 2018. I'm saying 2018, I think, would be a mistake.
Yeah.
That's next year.
Yes.
You just came out with the PS4 Pro. Are we not going to
let
that
but the
breathe for a
PS4
second?
Pro is not like, it's just a half step, and everybody knows it's a half step. That's why, even though it's well, based on what Sony says, it's selling, to what they expected, but it's not like it's selling gangbusters.
Well, and
just like Scorpio's not going to sell gangbusters.
Yeah, but the Scorpio has a reason to exist, at least. I feel like the PS4 Pro doesn't really have a great reason to exist.
Well, the Scorpio's reason to exist is just so that Microsoft can beat the drum of, hey, we have the most powerful console. And because they're more so than we know about Sony anyways, Microsoft is very much so positioning themselves in a, hey, we're just going to kind of release these upgrades to console. It feels like Scorpio is, in a way, a new console. But of course, until we know what its actual name is, that they feel like they've gone in this whole like, hey, we're just like, Xbox is a thing, it's just a service, and you just buy the new version, just like, iPhone or Galaxy or whatever.
Right.
Whereas PlayStation, the PS4 Pro feels very much like a, hey, if you just want to have like this one that's a little bit more powerful and like a premium version of your PS4, cool. But that I still get the sense from them that they're planning to do like, yeah, we're going to have a PS5, and then down the road from that, a PS6 and then PS7. It feels like Xbox is moving away from that model, whereas PS4 or PlayStation feels like they're kind of toying and playing around and testing the waters in these things, but it still feels like they're firmly in the full step console.
Let me ask you this, though. So will the PS5, in your mind, be a full step from the PS4 Pro or just a full step from the PS4? Because
it would have to be from the Pro.
To do two half steps feels weird to me.
You mean like, will it only be a little bit more powerful than the PS4 Pro? Is that what you're getting at? Like
That's
when you
what
say
I'm
like
wondering.
a half step?
And then will it, or because if it's only a half step from the PS4 Pro, then it's just going to be the Scorpio.
No, I don't feel like it. I think it's when the PS5 comes out, if they do indeed go that direction, it's just going to be stronger than whatever Scorpio is. Like they're getting to a point now to where both sides, because there's introduced this whole staggering way of doing things, they're going to be able to just continually leapfrog each other.
Yeah, so I don't like that.
I don't like, it's not going to be astronomical. Like the games that come out for the Scorpio, they're going to be like every multi-platform game that comes out that's on PS4 Pro and Scorpio. The Scorpio is going to be the better version. It is going to be the premium version.
Of course.
But for, all the Joe Blows out there and the people who don't necessarily have a 4K TV, or even the ones that do, like, they're probably just looking at the picture, not really going to know. It's going to be the people who are more hardcore about it. Like, they can really tell, like, I can tell that I'm getting a locked 60 frames sec on this one, whereas the PS4 Pro is like maybe only 30, or it's a variable 60 frames or something like that, where it has dips. There's only the hardcore going to notice that stuff. But like when the PS5 comes out, I would assume it's going to be something that's like, this is kind of like Scorpio is going to be able to say about the PS4. Like, we are markedly better. Like, we are going to be able to say we are the power king right now.
Right.
Until, whatever version of Xbox after that is. Because when Scorpio comes out, they're not going to release another one like in a year and a half, I don't think. Whereas PS4 Pro, like you were saying, because it very much was like hey, this is just a little bit better PS4 if that's what you want. Theirs will feel more natural, I think. Whereas Scorpio, because of the outrageous specs that it's going to have, will feel like a full step, even if they don't market it that way.
Right. Because it seems like neither side has said any game is exclusive to the newer console.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what feels like it's still a step back, Go ahead, Rob.
Last of Us 2 toward the end of 2018. That's a nice bundle for the PS5.
Nah, Doc.
Yeah, but that game, again, I think that game will be a PS5 game, but it's not going
to... I have single-handedly brought our YouTube views to #1 since December for The Last of Us 2, but that's a huge bundle that you could use. It's a good marketing tool to use to help sell it. Yeah,
but that game will not be out in 2018, just like the PS5 won't. Maybe maybe 2019. I could see that.
Yeah. I just think it would be such a big mistake, because then what do you do?
I'm with you, Gabe.
Then
I am with you on that.
Making games for both, and like you're asking people to shell out another $500 real quick to get, you know, what games are going to be exclusive just to it. Like, what's going to make it special? You know what I'm saying? And maybe they've got something planned that I can't even imagine that they bundle VR. Wait. All of a sudden, VR. Yeah, go ahead.
So, as we established a little bit earlier, like PS4 Pro, again, even though it's selling to Sony's projections, so they say, it's not like selling gangbusters.
Right.
And there's 60, I think they just hit 60 million PS4s in the wild.
Yeah.
The vast majority of those, like they were at 50 the beginning of last year. So a lot of people were early adopters and have had a PS4 for a long time. So even if they came out with PS5 and holiday of 2018, that's been 5 years. I don't feel like there's a lot of people who got on the hype train like early that will be totally ready to move on. And I don't feel like they would be like cutting themselves out from under. Now, again, I don't think it's happening holiday 2018. I think it'll be 2019's the year it's happening.
Right.
But I can't really follow your line of thinking that it's like, oh, this is such a big mistake. Like, I wouldn't do it, but I don't.
It feels like we're not maxed. You know what I'm saying? Like the PS3, you felt like, okay, and it's time to move on. It just doesn't feel like that for the PS4 for me right now. Like,
well, but you may have felt like, okay, and now it's time to move on. But most people that were in the 360 PS3 generation were like, oh my gosh, will you give us something new already?
No, that's what I'm saying. How I was. I felt like it was time to move on from the PS3, for sure.
But that's what I'm like. Okay, I guess we're just saying it differently. Like to me, like PS3 should have and 360 generation should have been 5 years. So if it comes out in 2018, PS4 will have lived 5 years. I think that's a good generation to. All right, let's move up. To me,
yep.
When you start going past that, it starts feeling very long in the tooth. So that's why I'm not seeing it. Like if they did come out with it in 2018, I just don't see it as a mistake. Like on the level that you are, I'm trying to get your reasoning, and I'm not putting the pieces together for me. I think it could sell just as fine.
You think so? You think it would sell as good as the PS4?
I think it would have just as much potential as if they waited till 2019, because there's going to be people. Because regardless, they're going to be pushing consoles all the way up until they launch whatever the next one is. So there's always going to be somebody who's like, doggone it, I just got my PS4. There's always going to be that person.
Of course.
So I don't think it's...
I more mean like, I feel like when The Last of Us came out on PS3, we had reached what the PS3 was capable of.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like we're even close to that on the PS4. I could be wrong. It just doesn't seem like we're even close to being like, this is all the power we could push through this sucker. You know what I mean?
Well, but it's also there's a little bit of a divide here as well, because you're at a weird point where there's also a bunch of new like television standardized technology that's out now, and a new standard that's pushing its way in.
Yeah, 4K is that
and
what you're
usually
talking about?
A new console comes around at that time that can do it. That's what Scorpio and what PS4 Pro are kind of doing. They're like, well, we could do 4K for this new generation, this new television standard. We can do 4K. You know, PS4 Pro, most of them are not native 4K, whereas Scorpio, as we understand it, the vast majority, if not everyone, will be native 4K.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, so because 4K by next year, 4K is going to be super prevalent. Like there's going to be, it's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so,
and cheaper and cheaper.
Even though there may be more you could eke out of like OG and slim PS4, they have those specs, not the Pro version.
Yep.
They're not going to be able to hit 4K. They're just not going to be able to do it.
Of course not.
So the whole like, oh, have we reached the max of what they could do? It doesn't matter, because they're so far behind already, because there's already the new standard that's getting popular. You know what I mean? So it's not like a situation where they have the room to last as long as they can to reach their full potential. They're already behind the 8 ball. They already need to move up.
Right, but they come out behind the 8 ball.
But like the PS3 came out and it was like, HD is a thing now, and we're the HD console. Whereas this one, these came out at the tail end of the HD life, and 4K has come out after that. They're not launching with the 4K. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yes, they're not hitting PC level of specs, but they need to be able to play at the current standard, and they're not even able to do that right now.
Of course.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's
totally
why I don't think. That's
point.
why I don't feel like it's going to be a huge generation. Because by next year, by fall, like holiday of 2018, 4K TVs are going to be everywhere, and people are going to want to play games in 4K. And if you're just the PS4 and the Xbox One, are only able to hit 1080p, you know, and they're like, oh, well, then they're kind of pointless. It's like, I've got this 4K TV. I want to play in 4K. So it's a perfect time for Scorpio, which will have already been out a year, and or PS5 if they wanted to release it in 2018, even though I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Chris, you don't think, and this is totally a sidetrack, but you don't think The Last of Us 2 will be out before the end of 2018?
No. It'll be a 2019 game.
I think it will. I think it's
it will
coming
be a 2019 game because they even said at PSX when they showed the trailer, they're like, they said this is
lying,
super
though.
early. Yeah,
they
sure.
Could be lying.
Yes, they could be lying, but I don't think they're lying because Naughty Dog is not a huge team, and they just got done with Uncharted 4, and they still have this little standalone DLC that's coming out in August. They're not a big enough team to just. I don't think it's going to come before 2019. Personally,
Do you want to bet?
Sure. What do you want to bet?
A copy of The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay, we'll do it.
I like that.
Copy of The Last of Us.
I'm so excited.
This is
no,
fun.
that's all you, man. This
Don't
is
get
good.
me wrong.
I like this.
It's not going to break my heart if I lose this bet
No,
because,
of course
hey, I get to play
not.
Last
Oh,
of
no,
Us
yeah,
2.
Exactly. Of course not.
That's win-win for sure.
It's a
Yeah,
win-win
exactly.
all around. I like this. It's like care to make it interesting.
I love that. Good idea, Ed.
That was a great idea.
Thanks.
Well, that's awesome. I hope that, I mean, it's funny because I want technology to continue to move forward. I didn't buy a PS4 Pro. I don't know that I need one of those things.
You don't.
I don't have a 4K television yet. But
Yeah, right.
But like Chris is saying though, I'm not gonna not look for from here on out, I'm never buying another 1080p television.
Nope.
Yeah.
Even though my vision's gonna get worse.
So you probably need the 4K.
I still think
out.
you'll be able to tell. Stevie Wonder's like, is that 4K TV? So Forbes, this was the story I was talking about. Forbes said that GameStop, I guess they did an interview with some people at GameStop, and GameStop is still saying that the Switch is still selling out the day they get them. And so because of this, Nintendo's had to switch up the way that they ship the game, the console over here, where they used to send it on freight. Now they're having to send them via plane, which I think is really interesting. So I don't know what that does for Nintendo in the sense of like how much more expensive that is. I would imagine it's way more expensive than sending it on a slow boat. But but I thought that was really interesting that because of this, you know, I guess they came out and said that in the first month, the Switch sold 2.4 million units, which is a bunch, by the way.
Yes, it is.
But they're trying to keep up with demand. You know, they're opening up other things. I just hope that it doesn't lack in quality because they're trying to pump stuff out so fast. You know, we've already had the Joy-Con issue, obviously, when it first came out. But
when some of those early ones had the weird wonky dock thing that was like scratching the front. I don't know if that was just.
Yeah. Did they change that?
I
don't know. I feel like when I heard about it, that it was just like a few of the early ones had a weird flaw. Like I didn't hear there was like a mass thing, like all the docks were screwed up.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay, right.
I thought this was interesting though, and it kind of plays into what we talked about with the NES Mini or whatever it's called, the classic. We were saying that Nintendo should know that their thing is going to be popular. And this was the senior director of merchandising at GameStop, Eric Bright. He said it was exceeding everybody's expectations. And they said they knew it'd be high demand, but they had no idea that the Switch would be selling out this quickly. And so I think I'm happy for Nintendo. I just hope that they keep the party going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
I think they will.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, the demand is so high right now. I feel like they're doing all the right things that they should have probably done for the Wii U, but the Switch is a home run, man. They've got to capitalize on it.
Yeah, Doc, I feel you on that.
So, and as much as I don't play it, I totally respect the fact that they're turning a corner here, and it's exciting to see because everything that I've read and heard about has just been like. It's everybody loves it, and it's Nintendo's back, and it's they're doing everything right now. So that's good. I feel like they're on a good pace.
Do you guys watch The Simpsons?
I used to.
I felt bad, and I know you can't crank out a cartoon nearly as quickly as you can a live action something. But this last week, The episode was about Pokemon Go.
Wow.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
And they made like one comment like, this is really behind the times. We know, but it was just kind of weird that it was really behind the times.
Huh.
Jeez.
Stuff moves through quick, boy.
Right?
I mean, it moved. That was last summer.
Chris, you all out?
I'm all out.
Eduardo, what's going on over at the YouTube channel? That there brethren?
Over on the YouTube channel, we're going to talk about our top 10 YouTube videos, combining average watch time and views for the week of April 25th through May 1st.
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing new this week, but I'm expecting some. Chris is probably going to have some Nier up there. Am I guessing right?
I think I may stream it some. I don't know if I'm going to like play it legitimately because there's something like 26 endings or something crazy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to stream some of it just to so we have some representation on there. I don't know if I'm going to do a proper go through. Yeah.
I saw that Persona 5 pushed back how much you can share on your streaming page or whatever.
Yeah, I heard they had made some changes. Did they remove the restriction on screenshots?
I still can't. Every time I start the game up, it's like you've entered the you can't take a picture mode.
Man, that is like that's such a bummer.
I know, and I'm not even to the point yet of where the new cutoff is. I'm not there yet.
Wow.
So it was kind of I was half tempted to be like, should I start this game over again and play the first part of it for the channel?
Oh, good Lord.
But I don't know. When I finish it, I might see how I feel, and then we'll see what happens. Top 10 YouTube videos. Number 10, Hue Part 10 University.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, Sniper Elite 4 Part 3 San Celini Island Destroy Cameras. Number 8, Married to the Games 240 Snap Pop.
Nice.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
I see what you did.
I thought my connection dropped out.
Yeah, even in sickness, man. You got it. You nailed that one.
That's funny.
Number
good.
7, Hue Part 11 The Ending. Number 6, Watch Dogs 2 Part 6 Bottom Dollar Complete. Number 5, Watch Dogs 2 Part 5 Bottom Dollar Fail, of course.
Yep.
Number 4, Ori and the Blind Forest Part 14
Thornfell Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Watch Dogs 2 Part 19 Paint Job. Number 2, Tim did not do his work this week. Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
Doggone you, Tim.
What took him out?
I know. And number 1, Watch Dogs 2 Part 48 Ghost Signals.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow.
Telling
I
you.
failed you all.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm okay with that.
All right, cool.
Thank you, Eduardo. Every week, we ask you guys a question. Last week was not different, except that it was a fill in the blank.
Oh, I love
And
those,
it
by the
seemed
way.
popular. I
It
feel
was
like
very
we got a
popular.
lot of responses.
Yeah. The forum was on and popping. Y'all were going back and forth on the forum, boy. I like that. Nick Fall. I'm not going to read all that, but people can go check it out. Nick Fallhaber said, in gaming, I wish for better online manners in public matches.
Yeah.
That was a popular one.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Haley Miller, in gaming, I wish Bethesda stopped streamlining their RPGs. I need the more complex stuff to come back. Needs the more complex stuff. I got you. Jared Orr, what we were just talking about, in gaming, I wish I could take screenshots in Persona 5.
Oh, look at that.
He said, I love the look and style of Persona, and not being able to share it with others really stinks. The amount of hilarious memes that the internet is missing out on is a real shame.
Agreed.
And then there was a big back and forth on the forum about art and video games. I'll let you guys go check that out. On Facebook, Antoine Stinnett or Stinney. In gaming, I wish I had the energy left in me after adulting to stay up late and dedicate more time to gaming. Now that I can afford the games I want, I figure out I have enough time to play the game to the point I feel like I got my money's worth. I know, dad issues. D High is a big one too, and I don't know if I agree with this, but I'm gonna read it. In gaming, I wish that paid DLC would go away.
Ooh.
Here's my thing about that. Give me the game. Let it be complete. And then if you want to add on something to that, I'm fine with that. But I don't want the DLC to have really should have been a part of the game in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a weird situation where I think we rarely are able to actually see that.
What do you mean?
So, well, like for instance, this Lost Legacy for Uncharted that's coming out.
Yes.
Like,
well, that's different.
They told it. I know, but what I'm saying is, like, they told us, like, we're not even looking into getting started on this till Uncharted 4 ships. But I mean, we could be like, oh, but I'm sure they really had the idea, which I know this one's got different characters in it, but I know people would say like, oh, well, maybe they were actually working on it. I think there's times where they may have ideas of what the DLC is going to be, but I don't think as often as people complain that this is the case, that they're like, well, let's pull this section out of the game and we're going to make that paid DLC instead. I don't think that happens nearly as often as people like to complain that it does.
And I totally agree with that. And that's what I'm saying. I want the full game like I feel like they most of the time do. Yeah. And then give me some extra, carrot on a stick that makes me want to go get the rest of it. I wasn't mad at the way they did it with Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, where they opened up like 16 more racetracks. Because I already had like 30-something racetracks.
Yeah.
Now, if they would have given me 16 racetracks and then said, hey, for $11, I'll give you this other 16, that would have been janky.
Can you give an example of the last game that you can think of that did it in the way that you don't like?
It's funny that I feel like, and I didn't buy it, and I think I was done with the game by the time this came around, but I heard a lot of people say that about Destiny. They were like, man, this extra DLC has opened up the story to where now it makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't play it, but I think that's a bummer. Like, I feel like I should get the whole story and then give me some extra something, not something that makes the original story actually coherent.
Right.
Yeah, it's like an additional story.
Yeah, give me some whipped cream and a cherry on top, but I want the whole cake though.
I was gonna say, so you want the full story right off the bat with the game, and then some sort of side story for DLC.
Right, and I'm not saying it needs to be as far as Uncharted's doing. That's is going to feel like a whole nother game.
Yeah, which is awesome, right? We're all in agreement. That's awesome.
Yes, the way that Second Son did it with Fetch's story.
Yeah,
like I didn't need Fetch's story all in the original. That's Fetch's story, and that's DLC, and that's great.
Yeah,
but you didn't need that to make sense of the first thing. You just get to dive deeper into her character. I love that they did that.
I do like though. There's many people. Like, I haven't played Call of Duty multiplayer in a couple of years now. But back when it was like Black Ops and Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3 and all those ones where I was really in the thick of it still, there would be people that would complain about, oh, I'm upset about buying a season pass and then, throughout the year I'm going to get these map packs that release or whatever. Or, you could buy them individually. You didn't have to buy it up front if you didn't want. But there would be people that would be like, I don't like having to pay for extra maps. It's like, I just want more content to make this game I love playing better. So I got no problems playing like in multiplayer settings kind of thing. Like, I'm all about it. I'm like, hey, because I'll look at it and judge, like, do I want more content or not?
Exactly.
But I'm all about it. And it got to the point where I played it so much and I knew kind of what I was getting into that I would pre-order the season pass. Because like, hey, I know I'm going to want this. So I'm just going to take the discount by getting the season pass.
And I'm not weird about that. That feels like that makes sense to me. But I think you would feel opposite if, and I'm not saying games do this, but if they were to have given you like 3 maps and then be like, hey, we've got these other 8 coming for, $20, you might be like, man, I wish I would have had like 5 maps and you give me 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt about Hitman. And even though it wasn't DLC, they were chapters of the same game, it felt like DLC.
Yeah.
Just because it was so long in between. And I was like, I would rather just play more of the game up front than
have to play it in pieces the way they did.
Yeah, I'll wait an extra year if I need to get the whole game, but
I felt that Hitman was a little bit more like Telltale though. Like each episode takes a little bit longer, so you give them that time to do that.
Yes, but the way they started the game off, you start the game off with like 3 missions or 4 missions, and then 1 mission after that, and then 1 mission after that. And so it kind of sets you up feeling like, oh, okay, well, if they release something else, it's going to be another maybe 2 to 3 maps. And, if you weren't keeping up with the news and not knowing that it was only going to be 1, it could have felt a little disappointing because your initial buy was so hefty.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's good. I mean, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Star Wars Battlefront getting a lot of flack for the fact that a lot of the DLC was maps that they probably could have had in the actual game?
No, there was a pretty good amount of maps. The problem that the people had with Battlefront was that there was no campaign.
Okay.
It was strictly multiplayer.
Gotcha.
And so they were like, this looks really great, and it sounds great, and it feels very authentic to Star Wars, but I want a campaign.
Yeah, which we're getting now, which is
which
cool.
we are getting with Battlefront 2, but also in a way, like, was kind of the opposite, because for years people had said, more so in the Call of Duty realm, but they were always like, nobody cares about campaign, we just want multiplayer, and so. Nope. I think EA kind of looked at that.
Love those characters.
Yeah, but I think EA kind of heard that and like just even though their games to some extent, at least in the past, was less so than Call of Duty, it was like, well, our bread and butter is obviously the multiplayer. So I think they were one of the first ones to kind of step out and be like, let's play with this whole no campaign and see if it matters. And it kind of backfired on them, and they're riding the ship on this one.
Yeah,
Star Wars is one of those properties where, above all else, like Star Wars people like Star Wars stories, you know?
It's a story, yeah, of course.
And they fixed that on Titanfall as well. Remember, people were like, oh, it's only multiplayer, and then Titanfall 2 comes out and it has a campaign, which I thought was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good.
Mike Doherty on Facebook, he said, in gaming, I wish Router would play Overwatch.
Oh.
All right. All right, I love you.
There's a
Night Crew.
There's a lot of that. Over on Twitter, the geeky nerd at dspin67, who always changes his name.
I know, that weirds me out so much when people change their names or their Twitter handle. I'm like, wait, who the what? Oh, okay.
Exactly. He said, in gaming, I wish the price for new digital games were cheaper, say 20%.
Yeah.
There's no shipping, no disc to press, no case. I totally agree. It makes zero sense to me that I get 20% off on a physical disc at Best Buy and pay full price for the digital from Best Buy.
Well, it makes sense to me, but I don't like it either. I actually ran into it this week because the Hot Wheels DLC for Forza Horizon 3 is going to be coming out soon, and that looks really cool. So I was like, all right, I might go ahead and go buy Forza Horizon 3 for the Xbox One. I was like, it came out last fall, I think, and I went to check, and digitally, it's still $60. And it's actually still $60 at Best Buy as well if you're not part of Gamers Club.
Yep.
I was just like, all right, well, it looks like I'm either buying this used from GameStop or I'm getting it through Amazon Prime where I get a discount, because I'm not paying $60 for a game that came out last fall.
Right.
Get out of here. Because then I also have to buy whatever the price is for the DLC. Yeah, for the Hot Wheels thing.
Which is going to be full price.
Yeah.
Yeah, DLC full price.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jody Nielsen at Jody Draws. And guys, I don't pitch a lot of people on here. This girl can draw. Or this lady. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know what the thing
is.
She's in 4th grade and she's got a talent.
I know.
That's right.
Gwen Stefani jacked me up when she said, I'm just a girl.
That's right.
So she said, but go check her out at Jody Draws. She's drawing all kind of stuff over there. She's drawing a lot of video game characters, and it looks incredible. Oh, it's one of those things I really wish I could do. I can't do like squares good or circles. Like it's real bad. My handwriting's bad, everything. Oh, but this full grown woman can really draw.
That's awesome.
She's not a girl.
I gotta look it up.
She's a girl, but I don't know. Sorry. Somebody got on me about that like a year ago on the podcast.
Don't even worry about it.
I know. All right. Jody, if you're offended, I'm sorry.
I'm sure she's not.
She says, in gaming, I wish I could walk, run, and climb along with the character. It'd be the only way to work out.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
I know that's right. Get your Nate Drake on.
Right?
Freaking arms of steel.
Seriously.
Joseph E. Richardson at Metaphysics, spelled really funny. My son, Sean, spelled Xian, says his answer would be more couch co-op. He likes likes gaming with his dad.
Definitely.
I know that's right. I had so much fun with Chris and them when we played Overcooked, which I think Jenny would like too. I might need to pick that up. I need that to come out on the Switch. So we could play that. Did you say it was coming to the Switch, Chris? It's in some of the pictures of the...
It wouldn't surprise me if it is, but I don't know. I didn't know that for sure.
I think it was on one of the pictures that they like one of the big, like, here's our third party stuff. I feel like
here's our Nindies.
Yeah, I feel like Overcooked was on there. Thank you guys so much for answering our question. You guys know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games, Twitter.com/MTTGcast, MarriedToTheGames.com. Like Ed was talking about, YouTube.com/Married to the Games, and now on Patreon, Patreon.com/MTTG.
Look at that.
And I won't go with Ed because he's sick. Chris.
Thank you.
Rate us on iTunes so we can all start training for the Married to the Games episode 305K.
We will not be doing that. Do not start training.
Aw, man, you didn't even think about it. You just shut it down.
I did think about it real quick.
Oh, okay.
No, we're not doing that. I'm just kidding. You can go run with Chris around the building,
right,
for 3.1 miles.
There it is.
A lot of circles.
Exactly. Well, let's get into some questions.
All right, we're going to start it off with our patrons over on Discord. We got one from Fluxel. Said, with Ed Placencia living close-ish to Chicago, any chance of a Chicago area meetup? It's only a 7-hour drive from Franklin. Texas, a little bit further.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I would love to go to Chicago. I miss Chicago, man.
Yeah, I've never even been to Chicago. That's one of the cities. That one in New York are the two main ones Stacey wants to take me to.
We are due. Yeah, we need to do that. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try and get that for you, man. That'd be a lot of fun.
How close is that for you, Ed?
It's a little over 3 hours. It's funny. I actually, when I was in Lancaster, I lived closer to New York City, Philly, and DC and Baltimore than I do Chicago now. So it definitely ish on the close. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do that. I did a Chicago meetup and it was awesome.
Yes, you
I
did.
had the best time in Chicago. Oh,
it is a great city. I love that city.
It is a great city. I'm trying to take Jenny there. She's never been.
Oh, yeah. Gotta go. All right, moving on to email. You can always email us, mailbag@marriedtothegames.com. Chris from Pittsburgh. Hey, guys, me and my girlfriend just booked our vacation for June to Miami. It was supposed to be Nashville, but my girlfriend went to Miami, so we are going to Miami. I have never flown, let alone ever been to an airport. It's only about a 2.5 hour flight from Pittsburgh to Miami. So any tips for a first-time flyer? And also, any one of you ever been to Miami and have recommendations?
Bring some gum.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Because it helps with your ears popping pressure when the plane goes up and down.
Oh, yeah. I don't deal with that anymore.
2 hours early. Get there 2 hours early.
What?
From your scheduled flight. Just because they're newbies, let them get let them get affiliated with ticketing and checking in bags. Depending. Here's the thing: if you're flying Southwest, you will not have to pay for a bag. If you are flying Southwest, you will not have to pay
for 2 bags.
All the other airlines will charge. What is it? 25 or 50 now?
It goes up.
Remember.
So the first bag on a lot of airlines is 25. Then the second bag will be more than that.
Yes. So
and you can leave your laptop or iPad in like a backpack, if you will. You don't have to take it out.
Are you sure?
I had to take mine out.
You still have to take them out.
It depends.
Well, it could be because I was with Stacey and she's pre-check.
Well, then you don't have to take it out.
Yeah, that might have been it. But the last 2 trips that I took, I didn't have to do it.
It depends on the airport, I think, as well.
Yeah, because I'm pre-checked too, and they still made me take it out the other day.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I think I just had too many wires going on.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go.
You will be tempted to get coffee on the plane. Don't do it.
Yep.
That coffee's bad.
I don't get anything to drink on any plane.
I usually just get water.
Bathrooms.
I will just get water.
Yeah, them bathrooms are like a closet. Go ahead and go in the airport.
Yeah. Try and do all that before you get on the plane. And man, have fun. Just enjoy it. It's an experience.
Yeah, really.
I hope you enjoy it. And please keep us updated, Chris, on this too. I'm dying to know what you thought of it.
Yeah, and I have not been to Miami, so I can't give any advice on Miami.
Yeah,
I've been, but I'm not hung out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's good Cuban food though, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear.
Mm-hmm. Might go to the club where you see Sly Stallone.
Hey.
Oh, really?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, all right.
According to Will
Nice.
Smith's Miami, at least.
Hey, let's do this in Miami. All right, let's go. Okay.
That was a little too clear. I could understand what you were saying.
I know, right?
Yeah, right. We have an email from Lucas
Ham Swisher.
Gentlemen, it has been too long since I took the opportunity to shoot some electronic mail to you, and so tonight's holiday celebration question is long overdue. As I alluded to last week, adulting has been at an all-time high in my life, and in general, it's been super busy, but I have been keeping up with the podcast still and enjoying the witty banter as I have been drive around my little Brazilian town.
Wow.
He's
you
all
sound like
it's
me
all
reading
good.
something.
That's right.
Well said, Lucas.
So today,
Well
I want to
said,
wish.
Lucas.
Jeez.
Oh.
Everybody get it out? We're good? Everybody done? Peanut gallery? Come on, man. He hasn't done this in a while, and nor have I read an email from him in a while. So let's do this.
Y'all
So
are
today,
both doing great.
yeah. So today, I want to wish you a happy Hug Your Cat Day. I
Oh,
personally don't
gosh.
like cats, but appreciate their general independence and personalities that often reflect a more unpredictable human disposition. But my question for you is more general in the realm of pets. What is your pet history? What types of animals have you owned? Which was the best or the worst? I've had a small variety from fish and turtles to rats, all the way up to a German Shepherd. Pets are great, so let's talk about them.
My man don't like cats but likes rats?
Sure, why not? I'd rather take a rat than a cat.
I'd rather take a cat. You ain't really got to take care of a cat. Cats don't even like you that much.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
No.
A rat's
I do
going to be
not
like,
like
can I get some food?
I do not like cats, that's for sure.
Jenny's very allergic to cats. I'm a dog
Yep.
man myself.
Me too. So pet
I
histories.
wouldn't mind a monkey.
No. I will not be your friend.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Pet history. I actually grew up not really having a dog. We were an Army family, so we moved around a lot. And so, my parents didn't get one kind of for that purpose because depending on where you went, you would have to quarantine the dog for 6 months. And that would, because like my family, we traveled overseas to Germany and Europe and those kind of places. So I think they do quarantine for a little while. So my first pet was with Lauren when we were married, and that was Maggie, our dog. And so and now I'm on my second pet, Thaxton, and which is a dog. But I haven't had anything other than that.
And you don't like Thaxton. I'm just kidding.
Oh, he's sweet in a turd kind of a way.
Exactly. I've had all dogs with some fish sprinkled in there
Sweet,
that we could kill.
nice.
Right.
Little flush him down the toilet.
Yeah, I mean, we're not good at keeping fish. The last fish we had died somehow that we got Amara, and then we got her these two other fish that were both supposed to be girls, and they weren't both girls, and they had, I don't know what you call them, but a bunch of babies. I think at one point we had 17 fish in there.
No.
Nice.
Wow.
And then you have too small of a thing. So, like, what do? You know what I'm saying?
You just whoosh
You know what I mean?
down the toilet. Uh-huh.
So,
Sorry, Mara.
Jeez.
I don't know what else you do with them. You give them away like somebody want these baby fish.
The fish fairy came and took them home.
Well,
That's
the mom
right.
started eating them. And we felt like it
Oh,
was
Yeah, that's
really?
true. Yeah,
more
you have to worry
humane
about
do
that.
it ourselves.
So you ate them.
Yes.
A little sushi.
hmm
Had a little
Yeah, but we
sashimi.
just flipped this fish. It's almost done.
Go ahead, Ed, Chris.
Growing up, we kind of alternated. We'd have a dog, then we'd get a cat, and then we'd have a dog. So we kind of had both at the same time. We had a dog growing up named Amigo, who was an amazing dog, really, really good dog. And we had an insane cat that we named Murdoch after the crazy guy from the A-Team, who we later
A-Team.
learned had brain damage, and that's why it was crazy.
It had a brain hemorrhage.
No, it had apparently when it was a kitten, the guy that we got him from, some kids were playing basketball, and they bounced the basketball off of the cat's head.
Oh, man.
What?
Oh,
And so when we got the cat, it was not right. So
Oh, dang it.
we dealt with that.
Oh,
oh,
that's
wow.
terrible.
Wow. I've had, the fish before, just at different stages when I was young. I had a couple of lizards at different points, just little small ones, not like an iguana or anything big. And I've had cats and dogs. I've always looked at them as like the family pet. Like I never felt like, oh, that's my dog or that's my cat. I mean, the lizards, I guess technically were mine, but I don't know, things in cages I never really got super attached to, even though I thought they were cool to like look at and everything. So my favorites were the last two dogs that I have, which the first one was Stacy's dog. So I married into having her, and then she passed away a couple of years ago. And then Ellie is the first one that I've gotten as a puppy, like from a rescue, and had like for 3 years that I've kind of gone through that process where I'm like, this is my dog. And so,
yeah, that's awesome
because it's the most immediate one. Like I feel like I have the strongest attachment to her, but I really liked our previous dog, Allie, as well.
There you go.
Nice.
Ed, do you have any pets right now?
Yeah, we have a cat.
What's its name?
She's cool. Mai.
Your cat?
You've seen Mai on Instagram and Twitter.
It's spelled M-A-I. As Sarah says, we got her used.
Oh, jeez.
We got her used.
That's funny.
Shit, some of the pictures you post, she just looks like she doesn't give a crap about anything. She's
Cats
like,
don't.
I don't like you.
She doesn't. She likes me and Sarah, and she doesn't give a crap about anyone else.
Nice.
She might not give a crap about you and Sarah.
I don't think she does.
Yeah.
I
think she's plotting to strike at some point when you're asleep.
Now.
Yeah, definitely.
That's funny.
Nice. Good to hear from you, Lucas Ham. Sorry I butchered the first half of your email, but it was
it was awesome.
It's so good to hear from you. Let's move on to Facebook. Alejandro Grau. Playing Mario Kart the last week reminded me of the times we would project N64 Mario Kart on the wall of my fraternity house in college and have tournaments. It was awesome. What's your favorite couch co-op memory?
Ooh, good question.
I got to go Jackbox at 200.
Jackbox 200, man. I was just going to say the same thing. Absolutely.
That was a lot of fun.
You said that like you were about to say, however.
However, my favorite couch co-op is and probably always will be GoldenEye on the N64. I played that so much with my brothers, and then the few times when our friends would get to like spend the night or something.
Yeah.
And I guess, do you call it co-op if you're playing versus each other?
I know, right?
We would just go against each other in like deathmatch, and it's crazy because it was at the most you'd have like 4, and you're all on the same screen, so everybody could see where the other person was. But it felt so intense when we were younger.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Man, I can't think of a time because me and my brother were so far apart in the age that we didn't really game together that much.
Yeah,
and my dad used to whoop me mercilessly back when we all lived together.
Not that I didn't love my times playing DDR with you, Gabe.
Ooh, those were good times. I mean, still, that was Jackbox even back in the day, too. Me and Ed used to...
That's right.
Do some You Don't Know Jack all the time. Gosh. I think I have to say 200, too. I mean, that was just such a special time.
Yeah.
And for everybody to be there and the projection and just like the wives were there and pizza was there.
Just laughing, and man, that was awesome.
That was pretty fun. I don't know if I've had a funner time doing co-op than that. That was a good answer.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Josh Stapleton.
Greeting.
There it is. I know not everyone is loving Nintendo, and that's fine. However, for me, it has changed how I play. If I want to play my Switch while mowing the lawn, driving down the freeway, or while at my daughter's piano recital, no problem.
The freeway.
Mowing,
exactly.
That's why his lawn looks like that.
Exactly.
That's why they used to have a cat.
That's right. Now, when I go to play another system, it almost feels a bit constricting not being able to take it with me. So my question is, what was the last thing in gaming that you felt was truly innovating? If you can't think of a gaming innovation, I will also accept the last tech that you felt was innovating.
I gotta say the Vive, probably.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Well,
okay.
just because of the way they did the cameras and the wireless thing and all that, I was like, that was the first time that I was like, that's what VR is supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be.
When you say wireless thing, you're talking about like the hand controls or whatever they were called?
Yeah, and the fact that you just weren't restricted to one area right by the television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the hand things. Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, they're very nice.
I mean, obviously the Move controllers are wireless as well, but it's just way different.
Yeah, they're not anywhere on the level of the ones that the Vive and the Oculus have, though.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, they're just not.
Yeah. I would say that was probably the last thing that I was like, but I am loving the Switch.
I'm going to say the same. I'll say PSVR is the most recent version of something because I've had some experiences with it where I'm just like, this is just really super cool. There's not enough of them that intrigue me. I mean, I would like there to be more on there, but I mean, I don't use it every week or anything, but I still pop it on. I have 2 games right now that I'm wanting to get into here shortly now that the Overwatch Uprising stuff is over. And once this Hero of the Storm stuff is done. Yep. But I really, that's probably the most recent thing that I can think of where I've had some wow experiences. Because I didn't really do much of the VR stuff like in arcades when I was younger. Because most of the arcades that I went to actually didn't even have it. And the few that did, it was like the line would be so long, I never really got to try them. So this round of virtual reality, the consumer-based version of it, is really the first real get-to-go I've done with it. And I've enjoyed it so far.
There you go. Router?
Awesome. As much as I rag on Nintendo, when the Wii first came out, I was like, wow. I'm like, this is fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. In fact, every member of our family got it for Christmas that year. Like, Lauren and I got it, and then we gave it to, I think, Keith and Kara. And, it was just one of those things where you're like, this is insane. And I haven't tried any VR yet, and I know I'll probably be blown away with it at some point, but I just haven't gotten to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I tried VR, that would probably be my answer too, but I'm going to go with the Kinect.
Ooh.
Hey, all right. Look at you.
We had a great time with that when it came out, and the fact that you didn't need any controller at all, we loved, and there were a few games that we really enjoyed a lot. I just wish they'd figured out more things like that to do with it. It just kind of got left by the wayside. I felt bad for that.
Me too. Because I thought it was like controlling things with your hand and choosing things on the menu when me and Mara would get into doing dance. What's those games?
Yeah.
Just Dance.
Just Dance. And yeah,
man. That was fun.
I know. I felt like Minority Report controlling stuff.
Exactly. Throw this over here.
I didn't much care for the hand stuff the few times that I used it, but I did, and I still have my Kinect on my Xbox One. I do like the voice stuff. I don't use it a ton, but I do like the Xbox On, which is probably going to turn on right now. But I do like those things, and the little areas where it adds like speeds things up. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I thought the 2.0 on the Xbox One was really impressive, where they could, they could tell where you were putting your weight and stuff like that. I was like, man, this is pretty that you could do it in the dark. I mean, that's pretty good tech. Like
the fact that they could like take your blood pressure.
Yeah, like all the workout stuff. Could it tell
that was pretty cool.
Stuff like that.
Your heart rate and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was really good tech.
They just didn't know how to use it.
Yeah, it just didn't quite connect with enough people.
Ooh, look at that. Look at that.
I didn't even mean to do that.
All right, moving on. Dag Huntley. My 2-year-old son Carter loves the movie Cars. I really wish he were old enough to see Cars 3 this summer, but I don't think he will sit through it. So 2 questions. When do you think is a good age to take kids to their first movie? And what movie would you want to be your kid's first movie? If I wish it were Cars 3, but I selfishly wouldn't mind trying the last Star Wars of this current trilogy. So The Force Awakens, basically. Hey, let me tell you something. I took Piper to her first movie when she was 2, and it was Frozen. And she was fully engaged for most of it, probably because there was singing in it as well. Man, I say try it. And if he starts to get loud or just kind of disruptive, just take him out for a little bit and then bring him back in. Like, you're in a dark room, big old screen, nice and loud. They're going to be engaged for a while at least. So I say go for it. And, if it's going to be Cars 3, let it be Cars 3. If he loves that so much, go for it. And yeah, I mean, even now, Piper's 5, like she'll still get up and we still have to be like, Piper, get over here. Or, just because they have attention span of a fruit fly right now. It's just boom, 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 constantly going. So, but it is engaging. It is fun to see them. But Piper's first movie was actually with Amara, and it was Frozen, and it was incredible. It was a great experience. They were awesome. But give it a whirl, man. You don't worry about it. Go for it.
Something with singing in colors.
Yep.
Is what you want.
I agree.
And like Router's saying, don't expect them to just sit there and watch the movie. That's not going to happen.
One of the things that I did do is, as much as I love previews and that kind of stuff, like if she wanted to go out and run around for a little bit before that, I'd let her do that, because if they're just sitting right there, you've got 30 minutes of previews and commercials, and so by the time the movie starts, they may get bored. So like I would kind of go out for a little while and then come back right when the movie's about to start, and that would probably help engage them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So great. That's a great question.
Yeah,
Ed,
man,
Chris?
Don't bring them. Unless if it's an animated film, go for it. Otherwise, yeah.
People are really trying to enjoy Star Wars.
I know, right?
Right, it's very true.
Or at least go pretend like you can't hear them screaming.
I know that's right.
Go to the first showing, like the 11:30 a.m. or the noon showing. Like don't go during prime time. Definitely, we did a matinee of Frozen, I think, and that was the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I got. Who am I to say? Come on.
Chris is like, I got nothing. It'll all happen one day. It's all good. Sherry Crow. Here we go. Let me hopefully be the first to say, may the 4th be with you.
Hey.
Oh, look at that.
Nice. Look at that.
And it's officially true. Which of the Star Wars characters do you identify with most, and why?
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
I have no idea.
Wow.
Jabba the Hutt? I have no idea.
Jar Jar?
Not Jar Jar.
Oh, God.
Man, I have no idea.
Man.
Maybe Poe. I really liked him.
Yeah, you're a good Poe.
Like, he's not like the main guy, but he's like the side guy, come in with some laughs, but like be able to get the job done.
He's got confidence. Yeah, he's got some confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Chris?
I might say Luke, only because I always try to feel like that there's still good in somebody. Like, even if they're like do you wrong, and like it's like, well, there's still got to be something good in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he was thinking that way with his dad, so that's the only kind of correlation I can draw.
There you go. Ed?
I don't know. Biggs?
Biggs.
Porkins.
I love it.
Just kind of like, oh, hey, I remember you. Hey.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you're that guy that did that thing that one time.
Yeah.
Stay on target.
That's funny. Tim?
Man, I don't know. R2-D2, because I like to try and fix things.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. I'm good with that.
That's a good answer.
Does that work?
That
That
is.
work? Yep.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Oh, that's a great question, Sherry. Thanks for that, and may the 4th be with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, moving on to Twitter. We'll wrap this up pretty quick. At Fighting Noobs, is there a game that you were super excited about playing that turned out to be a huge disappointment? Oh, we've had this one before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
We've done 4.5 years of questions.
Yeah, it's true.
Probably.
Of course there is.
I'm trying to think what game though, because there definitely was one. Gears of War.
Oh, yeah.
I just did not
right,
like
yeah.
that game, and I was so hyped to get it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be playing on my Xbox." Nah, I ain't like it.
Fallout 4 for me.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Because I played 3 and loved it, and 4 I just could not get into it.
So interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Chris?
The last one that I was really excited about and then let me down was Shadow of Mordor. Now, obviously, as we all know, I went back and played it again, and I was able to appreciate it better the second go round. But just as a little follow-up, because that one's a bit of a cheater since I've fixed the situation, I will say Borderlands 2, because I never played any of the Borderlands games, so when they came out with the collection, I was excited because some friends of mine were getting in. I was like, I'm going to finally jump into this whole Borderlands thing, see what it's about, and play with my friends, and it didn't matter. Even playing with my friends, I did not like it. So,
Yeah.
just couldn't get into it.
You are dead to me, sir.
Edward?
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You were really psyched about that one.
I'm such a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, and I was so excited to have a new way to experience it, and was just, yeah. I
so
felt
bad.
sad.
Yeah. That sucks. I hate that. Good question, though.
That's a great question. Yeah. At Dante's Belmont, what's the one thing your wife or your kid or your dog ask of you that you go, what? Again? Anything but that. In my case, it's a vegan cleanse. Oh, you poor thing.
Oh, vegan cleansing?
Oof. Vegan cleanse.
Jeez.
For me, it's anything shopping. If she wants to go shopping. Hey, can we go back to Anthropologie? No.
Yes,
because then
I totally agree.
I have to entertain Piper. But honestly, I actually kind of have fun with that because then Piper and I leave the store, and just go to the other side of the mall, and we go have fun. And then when we get a text from mommy, then we come back. So we actually have a good time with it. But it's like, really? We got to do this again?
Yes. That's my answer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Chris?
I honestly can't think of anything because there's nothing that I just despise that Stacy asks me to do like over and over. I mean, the only thing I could think is like...
Not like the toilets or anything?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like that's all the stuff she does ask me to do is very reasonable. It's like, hey, she's doing a lot, so I want to make sure I'm pulling my weight too. Yeah. I mean, the only type of things I can do is like, oh, we've got to pay our mortgage again.
Right,
we're both in the same boat on that one.
Paying bills again? That sucks.
Right.
Is that not paid off yet?
Yeah.
Ed?
You know what? I'm pretty much the same as Chris. Usually, if Sarah wants to go shopping, it's like at Target, and I like Target because we just kind of go our separate ways. And
oh, that's awesome.
I go to the electronics, she goes to the clothes, and we meet somewhere.
Meet in the middle. Yep.
Yeah. So there's not really anything that she asks me to do that really gets old.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah. Awesome. At Bad Gamer Elite, what is the TV show that if someone walked in, you would totally deny turning on, but you secretly can't stop watching?
Ooh.
That is good.
I've gotten stuck on, I don't search this out or anything like that, but like, there's been a time or two where I've got caught up on a Lifetime movie. And I'm like, I turned the TV on, it was already on here.
Yep.
Yeah, I can get caught up in one of those stories. And I'm like, why am I watching this? That or like Handy Manny.
Oh, yeah. Handy Manny's awesome.
Yeah, cartoons.
Is that a kid thing?
Yeah, it's a cartoon. Tim?
Yeah,
Real Housewives?
No, I'm definitely not a Real House. You know what? Housewives of Jersey I'd watch because it's a train wreck.
Yes.
And it takes me back to the motherland. But but yeah, we used to watch the mess out of that too, and those are hilarious. I know Jenny probably still watches those too, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, that's when she's pretty much telling me to go play video games when she turns that on.
That's amazing. That's good. Everybody go?
Ed, you got a guilty pleasure television?
Not really, just because now we get our TV like from Hulu and Netflix and Amazon, so I don't really surf and accidentally find something. It's just pretty much right what I like. And although when I worked at the radio station, there was a webcam and it could always see the TV, what channel the TV was on. And when it was my shift on air, if it was on Fox News, I would always change it.
I know that's right.
That's awesome.
Who wants to hear that all day?
Yeah.
And I just didn't want people, even though the TV was muted, I didn't want people to think I was watching it.
Nice.
Chris?
I'm going to say maybe anime.
Because
I just got into it because I just finished Death Note and I really enjoyed it. I've not found another one, but I could totally see like I'm watching some anime thing and Stacey just kind of shake her head and walk out.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, no, to see what happened with it. It's research for the podcast. Never mind.
Exactly.
Nice. Good question.
Good question. Yep. At Dopalicious, this is really for Chris more than anybody else. Maroon 5 covering Metallica or Metallica covering Maroon 5? I think I know what your answer is going to be.
I'll do Metallica covering Maroon 5.
That's what I thought. Yep.
No, you should do Maroon 5 covering Metallica.
No, because he can't stand his voice.
I know,
but the issue's the voice.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So Metallica will find a way. Because the Maroon 5 songs, the ones I've heard, they're catchy and they're not bad songs. I just don't like the singing part.
I agree with you, Chris. I'd go Metallica
get a little bit of a growl in there and some heavy riffs. I could probably be down with that.
The vocals are like night and day between the two of them.
Close.
So
Yeah.
I'll do Maroon 5 covering Metallica.
I'm with you, Gabe.
Tim?
What song though?
I don't even know any Metallica songs.
I don't know any Metallica
I don't know
songs.
the name of any Maroon 5 songs.
You know,
Actually, Dance Like Jagger or something.
I could see
Moves like
Maroon,
Jagger.
Maroon 5 could do like a Nothing Else Matters, something like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
You could have literally just made something up, and I'd be
I
like,
know,
yep.
I probably
I
could
know,
have,
right?
yep. And the Kill Your Mother one. Yeah, that one.
Right. Be
Yeah,
like,
they could do the
they could
Bacon
totally
Grease.
sing that. They could totally sing "Poop While I'm Praying" by
That's
Metallica.
right. That's right.
Brown trophy for days.
Brown trophy for days. There it is. I love this question. At Scott Thompson, Scott T82, what game started it all for you?
Oh, that's kind of the question of the week. It really is.
Oh,
It is. It's similar. And my answer is going to be the same for both questions. Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII. Mm-hmm.
That started gaming for you?
It didn't start gaming, but it started my deep, deep love for gaming. So I always gamed, and I always had every system. You know, I mean, I always like tried to have I didn't have every system, but you know, I loved Mario. Obviously, Super Mario, I still think is one of the best games ever. Mario 3, like just from my childhood, there's all these games that are just amazing that I loved. But the one that got me deep to where I was like, this is part of my life, and I will continue down this rabbit hole, was Final Fantasy VII.
If that's the context we're using to answer the question, then yeah, my answer is MGS.
Yeah, of course.
Really
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
Yep. That was the first one I was like, holy poop on a stick. What is this?
Holy poop while I'm praying.
Only poop on a stick while praying.
Tim, yours was Uncharted 2?
Dude, Uncharted 2, PS3. Oh, yep. Never forget it.
Nice.
First 10 minutes, I was like, oh, I'm in.
Yep.
I am in.
Eduardo?
For me, it was probably You Don't Know Jack.
Oh,
on
nice.
the computer? On PC?
On the PC, yeah. Just kind of marrying
Nice.
gaming with humor. It was a lot of fun.
Gosh, those things were so well written.
They
Right?
really
I
are.
want to know how much of that was riff and how much of it was written. Because
I know.
some things can come across like they say that, like for anybody that was a fan of Arrested Development,
Love that show.
that whole
Mhm.
show feels like a riff. And they said it's all written out. They said there was barely any improv in that show.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think that's really interesting because it all felt like improv.
It
Mhm.
really did.
It's
Yeah,
not like
it
Waiting
felt
for
real.
Guffman where they just had an outline and then riff the whole movie.
Right.
Was
That's
that
awesome.
everybody?
Yep. All right, we'll end it with Patrick Novosel at Nova Beyond. If there were classes available to you in whatever you wanted to learn, sky's the limit here, what would it be?
Japanese.
Ooh,
Really?
Yeah, I
Wow.
really
Yeah,
would love to know Japanese.
you need to go to Tokyo, man. That's
I
got to
want
be
to go
a
so
that's a-
bad.
bucket list right there for you.
It really is. Ed?
Wow.
I know, right?
Man.
Airplane pilot? I'm just kidding.
I know, right? You know what? I would probably do maybe like computer animation. That'd be
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
fun to learn.
You know somebody. You know somebody that
know.
wants to be
Yeah.
a teacher.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once he's a certified teacher, then I'll trust him.
Yeah, exactly.
that's right. Until
Until
then,
then, he's
yeah.
an amateur.
That's right. Student.
Yeah. Chris?
It's hard for me to make a choice, but I'm gonna say two. Any language, it doesn't matter. I mean, it
Yeah.
could be Japanese, Spanish, French, just something else fluent where I could do it all the time and just be natural about it. And then I would really like to learn piano.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Dude.
yeah.
Like I'd
Dude.
like to be really proficient in almost any instrument, kind of the same with the languages.
Were
but
you going to say weapon?
I've almost said weapon. Yeah, not weapon. Instrument. Excuse me. Kind of like the language thing, but I can narrow it down more. Piano just fascinates me.
Good
I just-
answer.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a magician when people are able to do that. It's like magic.
Mhm.
Ooh, I'd take a magic class too.
Oh, nice.
I love
Yeah, there's actually a lot of things. We're
magicians.
just like, I want to snap my fingers and these are done.
I
Yeah,
know, right?
Exactly.
I could think of so many things.
If I could just be David Blaine, not David Blaine, sorry.
Thank you.
But but there's been some sleight of hand guys on Fool Us. It's a show with Penn and Teller
Mhm.
that are
oh
just
man, absolutely.
incredible. If I could snap
Yeah.
my fingers and no sleight of hand, oh
Yeah.
And what's scary is that takes a lot of practice to do it right
Ooh-wee.
too.
Yeah.
does it?
I mean, it is incredible because you you are under a microscope and you have to just make it look seamless.
I've jacked up many a card trick.
Yeah, right.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I'm kind of right there with you, man. Like I would want to learn any type of a language. I'd want to learn any type of an instrument too, but piano I think is the one that's sticking out the most.
Yeah.
You know what? I wouldn't mind being really dope at skateboarding.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like just where I'm like going down the street, just friggin' pop a kickflip real quick. Oh,
I've been there.
You have?
Sure.
You could
I used
kickflip,
to skate.
Chris?
I used to skate.
Oh, snap.
I mean, I wasn't
Could you do it now if you hopped on?
I did
say
too.
It again?
Could you do it now if you hopped on?
Not to the same level, no. I still have my skateboard.
Could you bust a kickflip?
Yeah, I could do a kickflip.
Oh my gosh, those look
I
so
probably
good.
couldn't do it roll. I don't know if I could do it rolling, but I could do it standing there and do it. I'd have to
Nice.
practice a few times to do it rolling.
I just want to be like manualing down the street.
Nice.
But yeah.
It just looks so dope. Like, oh man,
it does
he's on
look
just
cool.
the front two wheels. Ugh, that'd be nasty.
That would be pretty cool to see you doing that. Chubby Ninja on two wheels. I love it.
Exactly.
That's it. Thank you, everybody, for the questions. We had a lot of them this week, so that's awesome, and we totally appreciate it. Love it.
Yeah, we do. Thank you guys so much. The question for you guys this week, just told you, is kind of similar. First game you fell in love with. We kind of just answered it. I fell in love with Final Fantasy VII.
I fell in love with Metal Gear Solid.
Ed?
I fell in love with You Don't Know Jack.
Tim?
I fell in love with Uncharted 2, but Assassin's Creed Brotherhood's kind of a close second, I will say.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. You went head over heels for Assassin's Creed.
Loved that game, yep. But Uncharted 2 is really where it all began. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
Space Ace is right there nipping at its heels.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good one. Let us know, man. First game you fell in love with. Doesn't have to be the first game you played. Like me and Chris have kind of shown. We were years into gaming. Or I was years into gaming by the time Final Fantasy VII came around.
Yeah, me too.
Exactly. So let us know, man. Use hashtag AnswerMTTG. Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. Hopefully we'll see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed coughing up his lungs, Placencia. And you guys won't hear any of it.
Sorry, Gabe.
No, it's okay.
Get some sleep.
That is Chris McCracken, and we are married to the games, and we up out this thing. Peace!
You know, I don't feel like we went too crazy night showish tonight.
That was a
we
very
really didn't.
subdued night show.
It
Yeah.
I
was.
didn't know it was a night show.
What
We
was
should
that
just
about?
have an Easter egg. We're just like, blah, 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 night show! Blah, blah.
I like that.
Night show, night show, night show, night show. Brown trophy.